It was only you, Bren, that believed in G2 out of our people here on the broadcast team. I think G2 have got a good shot here because their permaban is Sunset, which is one of Leviathan's best maps. And maps like this one on Bind, Lev have said they have an incredible map here. But actually, the match results favor G2, and we'll see them go into the pistol with a 4-player stack on A.
It's G2 who are the ones who put up the big results. Now they're going to be tested once more in some way or form, running forwards and past Aspas. Vulnerable up just from the snake bite, and it's cut up the sight. Right through the middle, Jonah P just seeking to take away names and filling up the feed entirely with his name.
One enemy remaining.
Leaf there using that same Viper orb, actually, that caused NRG so many problems against Leviathan. King left with the Viper on the other side. Spike, irretrievable, 5-player stack in front of him. Not the start that Leviathan were looking for, but G2 will take it. Another one of Valen's excellent reads when it comes down to rounds like this. We saw in that game against 100 Thieves so many times that he had a fantastic read of what was going on in the game. Yes, they weren't able to pull it over the line in the end, but I think he showcased that his calling is plenty good enough for the tier 1 level.
Yeah, it's been going strength to strength. Another big major test in the form of Leviathan, right? I mean, when they're going up against Cloud9 and Crew, you could argue that, you know, they could sort of match the same blueprint that they used to beat those teams, both of them, trying to bait the star players in, take good fights together, make sure the discipline was on display. And for 100 Thieves, they're almost entirely in the opposite direction. Like, don't get me wrong, they've got hitters, but it's the team play that carries that team in the execs, right? The real well-drilled stratch. For LEV, they're a bit of a mix of the two teams. I find, you know, you've got Aspas, this superstar player that they are going to have to keep in mind. But LEV are also pretty good in terms of just making sure that they don't leave any big gaps in their play. Now, the game plan for LEV here on the Eco is to just try and farm up some of those orbs, but the Outlaw just making short work of these Leviathan players. Good connection there with the dog, the mosh pit. From also just peeking wide out into the open.
That's so nice from Trent as well. Great angle through the wall there with his mosh. Think about things when the sides are flipped. G2, last time we saw them on Bind with their win over 100 Thieves, they were putting heavy emphasis on Shower's control themselves. Now you see them on the defense side looking to try to counter that. Double fighting Showers, which is a very common approach for teams. It's just one that 100 Thieves don't normally go for. And then sending that Trailblazer through the teleport in order to go for the refight. Outlaw still on board, but no light armor for Leviathan. So coming into this one, a bonus round for G2. Lev have got a very large rifle advantage.
They do, but less utility to their name just because they're forced to use the half armor. Now that they know that the Outlaw's on the board.
Yeah, what are they missing? A flash on Calm, a boombot from Aspas?
Yeah, pretty big tools, but we'll see if it makes a difference.
And another 4-player stack from G2. This is looking like a read. G2 have not had very much time to... I mean, neither of these teams have had very much time to prep for this game. But they are aware of their opponents. They've played them before.
Desk was mentioning that, right? Just lack of time to really prep, going day in, day out, playing the matches back-to-back. Trailblazer will clear the way and a path for Aspas.
Yeah, so it lets them know that they're not double fighting over Octagon and B-Long control, but it actually didn't tell them the site was completely empty. Obviously, from our perspective, we can see it's only Valin home on the B site. But he's not calling the rotates based off that. He's sticking to his gut. May end up being the wrong call, though, because it looks like Lev are about to explode from hookah.
As soon as the wall goes down, it's going to give them the indicator. Just send it all the way forwards. Will be an easy plant.
And to be honest with you, this should be an easy round. Be on Bind, very difficult. It's all about this hookah fight.
Oh, and a crossfire setup. Slightest of off angles, enough to really just spell, dissuade any other attempt here by G2. Of course, the weaker weaponry, they are going to want to send it. But at this point, just playing retakes into the B site, it's basically an impossibility.
It would be good at least to do some damage here. We've got Jonah kind of backing off, like really, really far away on the other side of the map. Is he trying to save the Bulldog in this spot? Or is he just looking for exits over towards B-Long? He does have a little bit of time.
Might be able to catch some players over towards the B-Long angle, but yeah, final go of things here for the G2 players.
Yeah, to be honest, that's almost worse of both worlds. You don't get an opportunity really to send it on the retake and do damage.
Oh, guns to be claimed.
All right, there's
plenty of them. Plenty of them. Jonah P even surviving until the tail end of the moment, although probably would have been okay with going down as well.
All right, so fair enough there. That round-the-world play from Jonah P does actually end up with some success towards the end of things. But Leviathan, that one was a little bit of a weird round for them because G2 gambled so heavily on their defense side. But, Brent, speaking about gambling super heavy once more, we have the same 4-1 stack on the defense side, just the other way around. And the economy is actually fairly equal. You would not expect this kind of setup. Valen's starting to drift over towards A. It looks like Valen was expecting a fast B rush, and now that it doesn't come through, goes back into more of a standard setup.
To see over the top, Trailblazer forwards. They've already taken lamp control with a mosh pit. Aspas, he's eager now to draw some blood. There's one player left to stand his ground. It's Valen, the IGL.
That's so good. He's playing anti-flash inside their own smoke.
Backbone of this team, and they've waded right into the nest that is Leaf. Already set up towards the hookah angle. Tex, he's got the spike in his back pocket, but a position recognized there to see can point them towards it, and G2 feel it from Valen's positioning there, just backing away to double face. 3-1 now in terms of that round differential.
Ludicrously good play by Valen. To say that that was plan B, remember, they stacked 4 players B at the start of the round, thinking that LEV were going to send a fast hit in that direction. So they weren't set up as the perfect A defense.
Yeah.
But to still anticipate a backside flash there, be playing inside the smoke towards spawn, and be able to pick up 2 with a spray transfer, that's lovely. Really is. It's going to knock the economy of LEV early on. And you heard the desk talk about it. Last time we saw LEV, only able to pick up a mere handful of rounds in their game against 100 Thieves. So we are expecting G2 to be, I mean, in my opinion, fairly heavily favored to make a good beginning in this series. And it's on LEV to prove that wrong.
Again, Valen, well, had to hold his own there. Alone in through the lamps angle. Guardian made sure work through the wall, so I see. He's looking to lock down Showers as well. If he holds on to control of this one while the plant goes down now for LEV, any sort of denial, the nade rebounds. I mean, that is wild. Unfortunate as well to a degree. Maybe not enough to actually even prevent the plan, but still going for the stray shot, hearing and knowing, expecting Aspas onto that spot. Jonah P is alone here, waiting for the thrash now to see if he can take the fight forwards into lamps. Connection, detainment needs to be covered and defended. King does his job, but does it well. Icy just trying to aim towards the back. These players looking away from him, and a call is made by LEV. They want to refight this one. Straight into lamps, doubled up now. And what is the call here with Leaf? Already just picking them apart from behind, but one player to stand is Trent. And time is against them. With the molly onto the spike, there was no chances there.
Just as we're singing the praises of G2, Leviathan answer back. On a thrifty round of all things, Aspas opening it up. With the team not exploding down short, but just contacting behind King's utility. And then that pressure onto the plant getting messed up by IC didn't really find very much value from the Outlaw. That all ended up being a little awkward for G2. One of the things that we've noticed this team is excellent at, what has defined them in their run through the playoffs, is their ability to play tight together.
Yeah.
There was only one when your opponents have heavy ultimates anyway. For example, now that Tex has the Thrash, you either have to fight it before he gets in position, which is what they're about to do towards Sand, or you give it up.
It's going to be this clash occurring.
They know that he's going to be thrashing from Sand. It's the most common position for the Gecko ult.
And he's going to be alone when he's doing it still. He's just holding it with the rifle in play. Tex, he just bats them away. Eventually traded, but seriously, the damage is done. Seekers have to be offloaded here just to try and clear out a path into the side. Aspas with a lovely movement, but just can't quite land those shots towards it still. Impeccable with the flash into the back. Trent! That's monstrous from him. Just exits out of it and even expects where King is going to be lurking his way back into the fight. And the fray, but the movement does him justice. With King surviving, it brings it into the 1v1. He just doesn't know where Icy is.
And he's worried that Icy might be on top of the spike already. King re-clearing. You know, fully thinking that it's possible even that this fountain area could be compromised. Does Icy have eyes on the spike? Did he go for that deep peek over towards and spot out that it was there? He must know that it got dropped. But it doesn't look like he wants to really take the fight.
No.
He's certainly does not know that that spike is still down. He's wondering about King.
He's so worried.
30 seconds left.
We're at the 50 seconds mark when, you know, King got it down into this 1v1 now. And the more the time just gets bled off the clock. nerves settling in at the back of Icy's mind.
But Icy's got such great utility for this as well. When King goes for plant, Icy can try to nade. The time is weak. He's got Boombot to allow himself to get back in as well. The nade could just deny this.
Yeah, but I don't think Icy knows he's planting there. He's holding, spotted. King, look at the draw with surviving now on a slight jump spot. Still the Boombot in his hands. Util spotting him now. Flying forwards and careening, but the rifles are going to have to do the job with the Satchel to set it up. Icy. It's beautiful play.
The util usage was good in the end there. I was a little concerned. The swing, it took him a couple of aim resets to be able to get the kill onto King. Almost offered the IGL of LEV a chance to get back into that one. But good work from the duelist of G2 closing things up. Lest we forget though, that was Trent that really turned around. This play to try to deny the Thrash from finding its value, Tex does a great job at dispelling. And then the Gecko on the other side of things pulls out magic.
Oh, yeah.
That spray transfer. Lovely stuff.
Little two-piece.
And it was Trent that saved G2 in the game on Bind against 100 Thieves as well. They won, but on their defense side, Trent pulled out magic for them late in the half.
Maybe that's the key to victory for a team like G2. A little bit of those hero plays, individuals stepping up. Thrash now finally being utilized. Clears the way through, eventually broken, was vulnerable in the process. Now Aspas does have a showstopper available in his back pocket. Now going to be choosing to send it. Eventually plucked out of the sky, but he does go 1-for-1 with the mosh pit following through. There's no attempt of a flood. He's shut down in a moment with the orbital strike. Backing away. Icy this fuse running out, running dry. Has to send it. Flying towards the back wall, but it's just making a bit of a racket. Not touch. More beyond it. Okay, the rifle still. Valen creeping his way forwards into the 1v1, but he doesn't expect it. Reposition of Mazzino. Catch it from the side, but a decent go of things still from the IGL.
A nice try by Valen, but it's a Smokes player on the other side that gets the job done. Not only winning the 1v1, but also getting that orbital strike to deny Icy's showstopper. G2's method of defending B has been to pop through the teleport. This great shot to make things possible for G2. But when Icy's ult gets denied, that's G2's setup kind of broken. What they're going for, you can see on the defense here, is short control and then pushing through the teleporter to try to backstab those hookah players and reinforce the B defense. But it's getting shut down.
Yeah, it's a cheeky play, but it's almost expected, really. LEV are just looking at the money. They know they're on a half buy, but it's still not resulting. King being ready enough for that. The rifle cannot be regained. G2 aren't even going for it. They're looking for a bit of re-exploration out towards showers.
The
making a
contact
call.
re-clear
Yeah.
without putting the wall up, so you don't expect it. Valen is not thinking about this timing because the wall is down.
Still holding the util. Spots it with a jump and, well, pays for it with his life.
I mean, that is true contacting.
Real no indicator whatsoever. Aspas is gliding. It's graceful arc as well, and he really has made sure that that disadvantage right at the beginning is offset nicely.
Grenade!
Here comes Jonah P on the flank, possibly too late.
Here.
You've got to expect it here with these weapons. I mean, Mazzino's already wrapping all the way around. I know that Icy's here. If Aspas didn't deal with him, backup plan would have in the form of Mazzino, Mosh Pit, Leaf. Just hoping that they just try and take away, potentially hunting for some eco kills.
I mean, surely Mosh is gelatinous. He should be slipping through those vents. He shouldn't be lingering on the floor. Jonah P's position, though, very reminiscent of what Leaf went for early on. I think probably something like round 3 or 4, where he was going for that flank retake setup.
Yeah.
But the problem is that while G2 is still being able to find the timings to push out on defense from B, they're so late that they've lost A, and the retake timings are too late anyway. So both round 3 and round 8, somebody from G2 on the defense side has pushed out B. They've just been too late to short. What a beautiful call, though. That's a fantastic call by King or possibly Com on the side of LEV to go for that pure contact re-clear of short.
Yeah, it's a nice audible.
Yeah, knowing that after you fight over it with the eco early round, they're not likely to still be set up there. And we see Trent doing that kind of ping-pong setup in spawn. He's just going to follow the noise.
Scout destroyed.
Dog showers pulls him towards A, but we can see the main body of LEV actually trending towards B, and Trent's going to get his steps in here. Just kind of jogging from side to side.
Go get him.
Trying to be wherever the action might be. With Aspas making all this noise as well. Slight feeling mosh pit. That's going to be sent straight. Clearing a little bit. Maybe a miss. I'm not too sure, but it will clear the corner.
That's the lineup that they go for.
Nade as well. Aspas straight in there. I mean, this guy's like a rocket. Sending himself flying, over the strike. It's going to be used to try and push them back. And at least Mazzino does actually go down to it somehow. Pit, though, has to be dropped here by King. Choking out this potential play here, but with Com on the lurk as well. Always be flanking, rolling back the years. Trying to put a dagger in the back of these players. Now the Pit is going to be cutting off that sightline and angle.
And they've actually gone all the way through elbow, so Com's flank is just going to reconnect with King, and they'll shake hands in the Pit and reunite to play postman together.
Wondering where these players are going to be, but surely options limited. You got to know that they've contacted through with a Dizzy and a flash. It's all combined, a double flash play. They know where the last is. Valin can't overcome that one.
I like these moments that LEV find to force the fight. Even though in theory, you could just hold there and play inside the Pit. But what they do really nicely, and one of the big reasons they got past Crew to this point, to Shanghai, is because they find moments of calm to suddenly double flash and fight you. Drop a Viper wall, take contact. They're not afraid to brawl at times, and I think that's a big strength of LEV.
Need real clear communication, I think, as well, to pull stuff like that off just in the moment.
Now remember, our expectations for this map were that G2 were probably going to be the favored team, partly by using 100 Thieves as a measuring stick. But it could well be that G2's success there was based more on anteing than being incredible on this map, or perhaps we're just underrating the way that LEV are playing based on some poor results prior. Because they're looking to get themselves up to a fairly nice advantage here on their attack side.
That's visceral. The dog just flying towards your face here, regaining control towards B long, and again the call to just contact up. This time though, there's no weapons in place, in charge! So Jonah P moving toward them. Kind of a gliding play here by Aspas, seeking to re-link up with the rest of his team with a nade. Rebounding, IC's forced out wide. Into the sight line there of Aspas, dropping the player. Two left now with another heavy flank occurring by Trent.
Another heavy flank, but another late flank as well. Look at the timing of this. It's not early in the round. Tex is already for sure thinking about it. And the flanker, once more, is the last player alive before they're even in position. The timing is off in these kind of plays. I think it's much easier to get a read on a team like 100 Thieves because they tend to be much more all-in on one side of the map. Yeah. LEV are actually disguising some of the places that they're going, throwing utility on the opposite sides of the map.
You know, it was just that round we just watched, right? They take Charlotte's control, but they move over towards the other side.
Exactly. And those kind of things are making it more difficult for G2 to get the read on where they're ending. Also throwing in the more contacting play around the map too. But I think Valin here is finding it more difficult to figure out where LEV are ending, and that's making these defensive pushes less useful. You got to throw it in.
Back to me.
Yeah, just look how spread out LEV are with the attack side calling. Slight default, make some noise over towards B.
But this time they actually haven't pushed Leaf off the B long angle, and that flash from Jonah P, they know it's not B. So this time G2 should have the read. This is ending A. They should be able to get 4 players there in time.
Pop flash to clear through. Orb still up though. Thrash is going to be used. It's going to slow them all the way down. Detainment onto the 2 targets here. In for the choke point. Not overextending themselves. G2, make sure they play with a little bit more discipline here because they are aware, at least of the fact Aspas still holding on to the showstopper. Trailblazer used to clear through.
Any pivot through the teleporter is going to be cleaned up by Leaf, potentially. But LEV are getting back over towards B.
They're pinging B long.
Yeah, because they're worried that people could be pushed. You know, they're clearing positions where defenders could be tucked.
And Aspas not able to remove the last one as well. Just hears it just moving past, and that is a pretty massive play, and it's caused the rotation. Look at that, Jonah P makes his way over towards B.
It's not bad aim, by the way. Those are invisible if they are attacking your teammate.
Yeah, it just looks like he's smurfing, but not the case. However, luck of the draw for G2, they might have just found themselves, at least with 2 players onto the right side. So making its way forwards with only 12 seconds left. Pop flash through and around time. It's working against them again. Aspas, it's initiating factor. This guy is now finally being shut down. And with barely any time left available, Com just can't get it done. There's no easy fight for him to take. So G2 realized that one, backing away, winning the round out just through that time.
And what is the difference in this round? It's the fact that the
Last
G2
round
players
in
on
the
B
half.
could clear out and get good negative info. With Leaf Jiggle peeking over towards B long, he kind of egoed Com's utility and realized there's no follow-up here. It's definitely not coming B. And then the fact that Jonah P also got the flash towards Sand and didn't hear anything. They knew it was going to be an A hit. They read the rotate back over towards B. Once G2 have an understanding of the macro game, their teamwork is enough to get them over the
Time to
line.
mobilize my
This
pack.
time, though, going for a gamble, they've misread the situation, but they always have the opportunity to pop through the teleport. And Icy can get the showstopper online here to make this really annoying for the Showers players.
This could be hella risky, though. They don't actually have prior Showers control, but it looks like they want to send
Here
the
they
Trailblazer
come.
forwards right from behind as well. Rockets for a rocket exchange of that firepower. But it's Icy who's the one who does come up with the kill. Maybe a little bit more, and his flashes in play. King, they know he's there. The Dizzy already isolated that position, just firing off that stray shot. Mazzino! Mazzino! What is that? From the brink. A chance to salvage the round. He's got here in Icy's position. He's got the orbital strike. Shut down. Oh, clipped to the back of the head there by Valen.
That is the tiniest of a pixel angle that Valen just hit. And if he didn't secure that, Mazzino has ult online in a 1v1 where Valen's only 30 health. Outrageous from both Brim players.
sides.
Mazzino, of course, doing the most to make that winnable. But Valen had a very slim chance there of making it easy for himself. Otherwise, it would have been a nightmare 1v1 to win.
Yeah. Mazzino just tucked himself over.
Look at that!
Is ridiculous.
Look at this is what I'm talking about.
That is ridiculous.
Look at that.
If he doesn't hit that, Mazzino just, plays time, ring around the roses, he's got the ult. Way harder to win for Valen. That is a nasty shot to make it 6-6.
This is a VO5 and our first map 6-6 in the half. That pistol round setup is to have two players instant double swing and try to contest this. So we'll see if that's what Leviathan are going for. Certainly Aspas with Sheriff in hand, you would think, has a good chance of being able to take out Valen if indeed they were to take the fight.
Just a short control though. Looks like a late re-clear of Showers if that is even on the cards. Pass for the TP, double play here. Lev seeking to crunch. And with G2 playing this far back, they actually do get that opening kill as well. With King dropped, plant down. Into the post we go. Maybe now the call to get that re-clear, late going. Wingman will start the defuse, at least with the process, and the Dizzy in play, in process. Tech's already getting this, having a defuse, looking to break this one. Wingman finally dealt with. But Lev, winning out these fights, potentially not quite. Com. It's going to be the last one left in a 1v3. Now, there has been a decent amount of damage, but it comes out of hitting it. It's a little bit precarious and tenuous. Still, time has been bought for him. All that work done. Off on the round and a bound. That is absurd. A shot to the brain of Valen. Only the wall saving him, but he doesn't land it. And still panic. Now beginning to settle. Has he bought enough?
I don't think he's got
It's
time.
so damn narrow.
On a nice edge there. Somehow Valen with the composure and Com not quite hitting enough after that sick headshot. A great try from Com in the 1v3, but not quite there. G2 take the pistol and go up 7-6.
One enemy.
Look at that. The like fadeaway headshot onto Valen dropped him down so weak. And yet he couldn't quite finish the kill in time. So yeah, Lev contested Showers there at the very beginning of the round and then decided to pile people through the teleport. That might be because they're expecting G2 on their attack side to still focus Showers.
Rough face.
Yeah, Mazzino and Com are not going to get anything about that.
We're going to need some clear game plans, I think, as well, just to prevent these ults starting to get farmed up.
I mean,
flowing forwards.
it's too late. Trent already has his thrash. Assuming that this plant goes down, which is almost impossible to stop,
Right there.
Trent's going to have thrash for the next round in the bonus, and that's massively important. Lev almost already need to start thinking, like, give up on this round and start thinking about, are you going to be playing proactive in round 15? How are you going to stop this thrash from just taking the space it needs and taking a site? You've got a little lurk play here from Leaf, who can afford to go for this kind of thing because he only has the pistol. He's not going to give a weapon away.
No. Probably going down to the spike for the LEV players, catching Leaf on that flank.
Yeah, and
Shouldn't be any more danger.
And there's no worry of building up ults on the side of LEV or anything like that either, so G2 are in a great position here. Again, the game plan for G2 in the next round is quite simple. On the other side, though, for LEV, stopping a Thrash from getting value can be really tricky. For starters, you don't even know where they're going around the map.
Yeah, that's the trouble, right?
But the most common play to go for would be to do it somewhere around hookah. So if you were gonna make some kind of setup, perhaps you could organize a sand crunch, take short control at the beginning of the round in case he's looking to thrash from there, pop through the teleporter and crunch if indeed they go for that hookah play. LEV, though, looking for the 4-player stack on the A site.
Watch and learn.
It's an overwhelming amount of utility they've got, and they could choose to crunch through sand if they hear it coming.
Well, I don't think they really can because they're giving up a lot of short control.
Or at least send through a bit of that util. We've seen teams try and cancel it with snake bites and nades.
I mean, to be honest, the game plan here for Leviathan just seems like gamble A and play full B retake. But again, this is the most common position, I would say, to go for a thrash. And here it comes.
Yeah.
Very standard game plan from G2, and LEV not able to be in a position to disrupt, but King still somehow finds the opener.
Okay, with
And they're
LEV
going to
going
pop through
down.
the teleport here.
They're trying to refight this one. Yeah, the call's being made now. Putting the squeeze onto these G2 players. Plan for Valen. Stuck and committed. Gets them into the post at least with a Dizzy to try and refight this one. It did connect onto him. Having to dodge this one with a snake bite. Drop down at their feet. No more advancing out through the elbow angle, but they do have to be worried about these hookah players still. LEV calling for a pause, waiting for the util, and with the smokes drop down, now sends out the thrash. That's a detainment. In through the back again. It's all about just denial and delaying all this time. G2 just trying to find these advantages, whatever they can get. LEV struggling to get themselves forwards here with Windman flying. Finally, the time is now, but broken in the moment. 1v2 for Valen. Sticking all the way with Com as a sole defender.
What a phenomenal round from Com. LEV put the squeeze on very slowly. G2 had a great reaction to go and take elbow control, but got locked out by a molly, couldn't force the fights, and LEV just slowly posted themselves onto deeper and deeper angles, doubling up. And it's this play. I think Trent had a chance there to win the round for G2, but couldn't get a kill.
Nice round, guys.
Damn,
nice
I'm kind of Chris.
I mean, remember that this is Com coming out of almost winning a 1v3 on the pistol.
He's feeling good. Top of the scoreboard for his team. Vibes are definitely up. Aggressive down A short. Looking to catch a player potentially, but instead just a bullet for Tex. Anything being caught.
And this round almost over before it began.
Yeah, you lose 2 players.
Yeah, 2 fights. And not even a fight, I don't think, from King. Sorry, from Com. Looks like he might have just been jiggling for information or something and got caught by the G2 players.
And slow and steady paying off here for G2.
You're expecting LEV to try to make some kind of play to equalize things. In a 3v5, the team with the player disadvantage is almost forced to make some kind of risky play.
It's so cautious right now.
I like this from LEV. He's just working his way down. If he spots a bunch of players, then they can call the react into B. But otherwise, if he takes space, then they have a chance to return back to him. LEV, though, is calming that he's not hearing anything, and the G2 players are starting to coalesce towards A.
Hesitancy, man. There's hesitancy here with 33 seconds left.
This is rough.
Stimmy dropped. Got to get a run on. Got to get a move on.
Left.
And LEV have called the right stack. Snake bite. Just battering off the shoulder here. Aspas avoiding the Dizzy. Satchel's in and through. Wingman needs to be denied and broken, but it's being held. It's guarded for now. Into the post plant we go. Nades. Like I said, a little bit late and delayed, but now doubled up. LEV looking to try and take some fights together. It's going to have to be that firepower that bails you out of this spot. Molly rebounding. Orb to be propped up and placed up. Snake bite. Forced them way out into the open for King. An easy collection of 2. A tap onto it. Molly over the top. Don't think that's going to be rebounding. Time's going to be bought as well. G2 should be able to just play to this one now as well. Just not really facing too much. The Molly surely doing the work of a mosh pit. Send flying up and over 2v2. Beautiful to cross that placement again. It's that time against him. As the ring just descends onto that spike, Aspas realizes it. The time is up for any chance to win that round. All the right protocols there for G2 in their post.
See how much post-plant utility
Yeah.
they had available there.
I mean, that's brutal.
Waves of it coming at the Leviathan defenders. And despite King's heroics of picking up 2 in lamps, which is way more than you would expect from him. I mean, look at this. What a play to bring things into a 3v3, but they still weren't able to convert. I think LEV also missed a trick there in the 3v5. When they had Aspas in position over towards Showers, I think he's got to try to make a fight as they come down short there. He timing the Dizzy, but he didn't go for a kill. Yeah. He didn't try to deny Wingman.
Denying a plan there,
I think it's almost impossible to win the round from that point.
Yeah.
The LEV are going to take a timeout.
That should be quite standard here for G2. Same game plan, haven't really mixed too much up. Very slow play to begin with, but this time everybody grouped up over towards Showers. I think they're just aiming to deny the chance of any ult ults being picked up. They know that LEV are on that half buy. They know that they're close to a few ults. This is away for Aspas.
One of the first rounds, actually, that we've seen G2 go heavy towards Showers, which they did a lot against 100 Thieves, and LEV are in position to crunch.
And this off angle by Aspas could just rip someone's head straight off. Almost preordained in that position. You just expect him to get those.
A bit too slow, though, from the reactions of those B players. They're only now just starting to come through the teleport.
And they're behind them.
Full sight.
Yeah, full sight. Even being called to flip it around the back. Snakebite is good. Pushing them back and away. How is King still hitting that one? Surely not. Okay, finally dealt with. Taken out 3v3 in the process. This isn't a weapon online for Tepix.
This is not comfortable for G2. They don't control spawn. They don't control short. They're getting pinched on from all 3 positions. It's so claustrophobic.
And that is why you're seeing the ults being offloaded now. Orbital Strike has to be used. Mazzino, he's creeping and crawling back, just trying to link up with him. And Tex forwards taking that fight, just trying to offset it. Not with a movement though, and still down to a 1v2. Mosh Pit finally finding it. Pushing him out wide for the Classic to do the dirty work. That's a LEV win, and you said it, you called it, Josh. Listen, there's chances to offload the ults and win that one on a thrifty round for LEV. It's going to make things much easier for them.
And it's Comms Seekers, I think, that end up doing it. But also, rather than that being something that LEV did incredibly well on the back of the ults, I think I've got to call out the fact that G2 did not take enough space. They react into sight nicely, but they know that they've lost Showers control, and they don't have short anymore. You've got to go and take something. You've got to go and take spawn, take heaven. You've planted back sight. Why are you not reacting into spawn, into heaven, and fighting Com? Too much respect. Too much fear there, perhaps, for G2. And the game's flipped.
Just like that, moment's notice. Ults online here for LEV. Good guns and weapons. A lot of kit as well in the back pocket. Just hold him for now. Interesting setup.
Yeah, and if there had been rifles on board, if G2 had won that previous round, this one would be a massive exchange of ultimates. You get a similar situation again if G2 start to get some opening picks.
So much respect being showcased by LEV. I mean, going to let them lurk all the way up. A few bullets almost bringing down Icy.
And yeah, after that tactical timeout, Bren, I think it has been a call for LEV to just sit back in the sights a little more.
Slowing it down ever so slightly. Top of the box, Aspas having to give up and retreat from that position. Mosh Pit forced out. Slow C's of a round.
Heal up, squad.
G2. Looking for an opening pick, looking for an opening kill. Not going to be finding it with those shots, just going wide of the mark. All the way back here.
The rotate from G2, looking to try to end towards B.
Weird one.
30 seconds left.
Mazzino's already been called over, and Valen only has a single smoke. I think this is going to be very tough for G2 to get value. Although Mazzino is going back.
And King doesn't have any snake bites here to delay. Finally sent flying with King dropping. Only 13 seconds left into this one. You've got to get that plan online, Com. If he seeks to deny, it could be everything that they need. And Mazzino floods forward, pushing past it, finally breaking it. No plan in sight. Trent tries to show off that mechanical prowess, but won't be able to get it done there. 9-9 here. LEV still not even using too many of those ults at all. Look at it, 4 online.
And this now becomes the round that could define the game. It's going to be economy on the line for G2. Oh, that's brutal.
Come on, guys, let's go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, cool.
You hear Mazzino at the end there actually calling out the ults that his opponents have, I think. So they've got a game plan around what's going on. This is going to be a massive clash of ults, though. Aspas getting tucked over towards the teleporter here. Not a play they've gone for, thus.
Oh yeah!
thus far.
Monster on the
Trailblazer needs to be broken though. Attempt to defend it. Rocket forwards. They expect it. But the dog being broken just highlights the position of Aspas as well as they had the wall hacks. And they can't hold on to Octagon. No control of it. Here with a sight gained and garnered. Plan down for Valen. Easily done. There will be no pushback.
No, and in the meantime, Trent's Thrash came all the way through Hookah. It's just that classic play that G2 went for the last time they had Trent's ult online.
She's still gunning for you.
They're just running strats out of their strat book, and Lev not in a position to try to disrupt that, despite being aware of the ults that were online. G2 looking to mop up.
They do so in a very clean fashion. 4 players surviving.
But okay, that's G2 getting back into things, stabilizing their economy to some degree. But Lev can still buy, and Lev still have massive ults available. They didn't use any in the prior round. So because that's not an eco swing round for Leviathan, they can now respond back and try to do damage to G2's economy. Rather than being that big explosive exchange of ultimates, like I was anticipating, there's more back and forth here.
Yeah,
G2 taking their free round, and now Lev looking to try to do the same.
Exactly.
Don't think anyone's in position to pressure the pit very quickly. There's 3 players, but it's not like you have Icy here with Boombot.
It's a real interesting pit as well. Curving all the way around. King going to be playing inside this one with the judge.
For G2 now, how do you want to try to clear this? The more time you take to clear it, the worse it can be, because then you end up in a situation where Aspas techs have ults that can win the round. The flash to follow up there, actually, from Com.
Very heads up.
Yeah, because the dog had given G2 a timing to try to contact into showers. And then the flash lets them know that they were trying it.
It's up to Com to try and defend his teammates back here. King, despite having the coverage of the pit, he is quite vulnerable in that spot. If they get squeezed and lose showers control, Flash is good with the connection, but Com, he topples almost as immediately as you go. King now just trying to play inside the dominated positions. Jonah P, flick of the wrist and snap straight to the dome. Orbital strike, forced out nice and early, but that won't stop the plan from going down. And Aspas even to commit. Oh! What? Leaping boundless straight past it. How is Leaf still alive? How the hell is that a -8? Another pit of their own. Drop down Mossberry. Leaf trying to leap out of the way. Lev have cleaned this one up almost entirely now.
It's flipping around, but look at Jonah P coming around behind showers. There is no way that Tex is thinking about this, but they haven't broken the wingman.
Not at all.
Broken the wingman.
And it's still diffusing. Broken in the final moments. Jonah P on 23 health, but he needs to play out in the open. And he's not doing it. Doesn't call the block. Full stick. What a mad round! What the hell is occurring?
What an absolutely bonkers round there that Lev have managed to steal away. When G2 got themselves into the site, dodged Com's flash, and picked off King, should have been curtains. It really should have been. Especially when this ult finds nothing.
Oh yeah, you're kidding me.
I mean, how is that not getting a kill when it's on top of the bench there as well? It just gets, it vanishes into textures unknown only to the deepest of depths. But here, the wingman being able to get half and then the follow-up puts us at 10-10, ults all expended. Just for those final couple of rounds to be flipped.
I mean, these two teams could not be closer. G2 have been playing this one so slow, so steady at the beginning of almost every single attack side round.
Yeah, they really tried to play with the pace, force Lev into making those aggressive moves so that they can try to punish it. And after that tag timeout that we saw, Lev have not been going for those more aggressive plays. We have Com, instead of jiggling, actually going for the Trailblazer, you know, really trying to minimize risk is Lev on the defense side.
Emma King just gets the acknowledgement. Players approaching the position.
On the other side of the map, using Wingman to clear out any potential lurk.
Going for a double fight here. Maybe even potentially the bait and switch. Satchel across by Icy, immediately punished, and more so than that, it's a sand crunch right from behind. Colliding and crashing right into them. GT will seek to at least maybe carve out a path into the round, but with the spike drop down, very limited in terms of the options. We'll try and force these fights and force them well. Flash deep into it, into the back of the side. Leave! How are you managing that? Stay by still, bit of vulnerability there. He's burning for the toes. Repositions, doubled up, damage done. Could be anyone's game still with the spike even dropped down in his position. Util in your hands, what are you playing at? Leave into that 1v1. Wingman broken, 14 seconds. Got to get a move on, but he does not know where Tex is. 11 left. Knives out now, getting a full run and sprint forwards and back towards the site. Safety.
I think he's got to know that the play is long by now. Otherwise, Tex would have been shooting him in the back.
Surely would have punished him. And Tex is weak enough himself. Have G2 really done enough to carve out a spot for success in this round? The answer is yes. All on the back of Leaf.
These last 2 rounds have become so chaotic. Just ludicrous scenarios all over the place. The fact that Mazzino was even able to be punished in back halls there, this play, is because the wall is up.
These teams are just pushing themselves to the limits with the proactive calls that they're making. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many scrims you've played. You don't get tested like this. You don't see rounds like that.
Yeah, we haven't scrimmed this exact scenario, actually.
Play spoiler. Doubled up now. Looks like the take from LEV here.
And this actually looks quite similar to a defensive setup we've seen before from LEV, where you double contest showers at the start of the round, and if G2 go into a short push, then you're trying to play for wingman denial. But last time, if you remember, they didn't deny the wingman, and they got stuck in a bit of an awkward spot. So that's going to be my focus. You want to be seeing Aspas here use nade or have some kind of spam to stop this plant.
Dog gets no info there, but at least with the Util flying over and abound.
There's the nade.
Nade rebounds. Denies the plant.
Good denial.
That's exactly part of the game plan here. Satchel, don't think that was the intended spot for it, but a smoke now dropped off because they realize they've lost control of showers here in the TP rotations. LEV fully grouped up now with 4 of those players. Plant now down, late, flank attempt. Leaf is coming from behind. Might be able to catch a player or two, but already LEV have managed to gain control and access to the side here. They're not going to be expecting this one. Molly's already flying up and above and around. It's going to be again buying even more time off the clock. Hasn't been pushed back, hasn't been delayed, and here's Leaf. It's that backup insurance policy with him just circling all the way around the world and just taking off names from the list. There's really no chance, no opportunities anymore for LEV. Made a decent go of things.
And Aspas, the last player alive, not given a fair fight at any point during this round.
That's just the way G2 play. Hyper-disciplined, not willing to give you any weaknesses that you could pry open yourself and maybe find yourself winning on a half by a thrifty round. Hyper-drilled in terms of just their understanding of making sure that they don't leave any of those opportunities.
And all of that post-plant utility that LEV had already seen before, but LEV chose not to try to push up short. I think that's a miss. I think they're really struggling to come up with good timings to deal with the G2 short push. I think Valorant could just run that one again. But instead, seeing them start with a default where they take some sand control. And this, them on map point.
All or nothing.
1 round away from going towards G2.
It would be a stellar beginning here for this Ascension team that's now playing up to the top level. Don't get me wrong, they've been there before. Different era though, perhaps.
Yeah, and also, that was this G2 core being at the top of the North American teams. You know, now they're playing against super teams from across the Americas. It is different.
Ollie sent flying. Clears truck position. King, what an opening. Valorant's going to be caught out. That's actually an orbital strike that's going to be removed for this post, as well as that a satchel. Pushing him back and away, Wingman. Now going to be trying to get this plant online. Here's the next level of it. Another nade sent flying. Clear game plans here. It's evident from LEV, and our call to fight. Flash doubled up into the back of the lines, but LEV are going to be isolated from all of this one here. Trent just trying to get that stick, and he does get the plant down at least, but they've toppled and lost players as a result of it. It's onto Leaf now. Again, another flank time. Mosh pit out wide and open, but the off angle not anticipated. And Trent just sends it flying forwards, at least with the wingman, but his back is open. And Com is right there, betrayed by the barrel, sticking out wide. 11th round gain for LEV. They're not done with Bind just yet.
And such a better way of denying plant there. Satchel into nade, into spam, maintaining that control over bench instead of giving it up and hiding in showers. Superb protocols for dealing with the plant, and something that LEV have been getting wrong, I think, for the majority of what they've been doing so far on Bind. What a late adaptation to fix their counter to G2's short push. But is it too little, too late? The ultimates are starting to pile up on the side of our leading team of
I need to blow
G2.
something
Thrash. Where have we seen Thrash been played? Every single time on sand. And LEV are going to try to deny that with an immediate flash. The flash itself actually beefed by Com. And so Aspas is not on this angle early. But it's good enough to let him know there's no one here.
They're really going to be seeking to take a fight here. Players could be watching, but no, their backs open to it! Punishment! And Trent, I mean, he was just locked into the animation.
Couldn't be better though, the read. It's excellent. Even though G2 were modifying what they were doing with that Thrash, still found the perfect timing. Is there any chance for Icy and Leaf to turn this one around? Leaf's making a lurk play happen over towards A right now.
But look at King.
I mean, King is playing so passively because he's lost info about Leaf. If Icy dies though, the round is chalked.
It's inevitable at this point, isn't it? Looks like it. They hear the footsteps.
Yeah, this is just giving the perfect timing for these LEV players. Knife out reflank is going to be like, what, 5 seconds later than Icy to short?
LEV are going to be far enough away, though, that they should get into the post plant. Pit down as well. Definite chances here for G2. It's all about how they play it in the moment. All eyes on these flanking players. 3 grouped up from LEV. King from the back is trying to seek for some noise and the timing. An off-angle fight by Icy. Not favored. Leaf is low enough here and he just can't quite collect it. It's Leviathan team eager for a scrap, eager for the brawls. Throwing in a bit of proactivity when they just slowed it down and just gone entirely away from it. But what a hell of a read from them.
Yeah, a great read. And I think the fact that G2 have gone for that Thrash play over towards Sand twice, it did mean that it was very sensible for LEV to start pushing in this kind of area. And they caught the perfect timing too. So we go overtime. That ult advantage that was potential there for G2, wiped clean, even on both sides. And I think, to be honest with you, Brent, LEV have been the team that have been impressing me with the adaptations later on in this map.
I would agree, yeah. I think that they're thinking about the ults that they've got on the opposition tide. I mean, G2, I'm not going to say they're readable here, but I think we have kind of teed this up as a battle of the minds, the IGLs, the teams themselves, and the adaptations going back and forth. Doesn't get much more so than this bind map. 12-12 into our first round of OT.
And once again, Com is supposed to be the distraction here with his Sky utility, disguising this push down short.
Walk up though. LEV are going to be hearing it, dropping down. Icy. He's got the awareness at least that they could have lurked and crept themselves deep.
They dodged the
into
boom
it.
bot.
They dodged it. And now it's all about these timings to be taken to the expected damage. Through the box and done to Valen, eventually dropping him, finding that one. Nade rebounds, but a little bit too late, does not deny it. And that's overwhelming. Brute force is the play. Jonah P is alone here, not expecting and anticipating that one for Mazzino. Right from behind. LEV up to 13 now, unless Leaf can just pull off a miracle once more, but it just looks unlikely, and indeed it is. So, shoes on the other foot here. G2 found themselves 1 round away from potentially closing out the map, but now it's LEV in that exact same spot.
Will LEV have the tenacity to convert? I think this was an amazing call. I've been really impressed with what LEV have been putting together on the defense and attack side. Adaptations, the cool calls. This is the second time they've gone for a contact play down short, but they're disguising stuff so well with Com's utility. And the fact that they dodged the boombot as well by dropping wall and then heading into sight, all perfection. G2 forced to answer.
1 round's going to be standing for. They're just sealing up this map. You'd love to do it. G2's map pick a bind in a best of 5. Any advantage you can get nice and early into these grueling tests. Gonna be hunting for it. Leaf actually isolated onto the left-hand side.
And
Really
surely
have an exit strategy.
This
but
calls the reaction from G2 down short, right? And now LEV, can they deny plan?
Get up the gut, boombot leading it forward. It doesn't nade.
Even better.
I mean, it only seeks to deny the plan, but it catches the player instead.
Molly as well. I mean, LEV, the adaptations, their protocols, they're just working so much better than they were at the start.
Surely this is it. With the flash and a peek. No way. G2.
What a recovery!
Managing to at least find a foothold into the round. Ridiculous stuff. Com from the side. Moshpit round and wide. 14-12 finish. It got scary. Off balance a little bit for both of these teams into the final moments. But a lovely beginning here for Leviathan in this best of 5 lower final.
Packed battle, not necessarily them going up head to head per se, but more what value are they getting for their teams. And on the defense side, how well they're working around Valen's Astra.
Let's get it started then. Pistol round to begin. On to Breeze. Defense side for G2.
And speaking about Valen's Astra, this is the smoke that I was mentioning that you will frequently be getting on site for other people to play around.
It's real nice for the anchoring players.
Certainly is.
Just cuts up the site as the attackers try to get involved. Position being played here by Leaf.
Another one where comms utility is the fake.
This is very forwards in terms of just position, but there will be no signs of a punish. And okay, Icy is just removed from the fight. As quickly as that, Jonah P. Have to see if he can stall and delay this one out with a stray snake bite, but be thinking it maybe favors the LEV players still. Gonna slow it down. Dart rebound, shock darts as well to delay. Trying to pull rotations potentially into Mazzino, who just locked himself down into mid. There is no attempt at the plan just yet.
He's waiting for the mid lurk. He knows that there's going to be one, and he's found it. Great awareness from LEV before the plan.
Jonah P might be able to sneak himself into another one. Slight spot, and no one is wise to it.
Down A.
Combining it together, him and Trent. Really just Jonah P.
30 seconds left.
Mazzino, how do you know where this guy was playing now? It's just out in the open. Seeking a fair fight, but he will not be given it. G2 too good with the discipline. Jumping wide to just offset that aim. Pistol round. Really stolen back from the brink there by G2.
I was all ready to talk about Icy versus Aspas. The fact that Aspas gets the first kill, neutralizing Icy and taking away that space. And as soon as Icy goes down, it looks like you can't play around the smoke anymore. But then Jonah P somehow sneaks back in with a second smoke from Valin
I set the punishments
to allow that play to work. I mean, that is sick usage of the Astra in that spot. The most value you could possibly ask for. And LEV are going to need to dominate those smokes and have ideas of how to get inside of them, either by double facing or using util. Oh, I got ourselves a tech pause after the pistol.
Couldn't escape it.
Well, we've got a long BO5 ahead of us. You want to make sure that everything's working properly, I suppose. Already, we're seeing that G2 do have some decent ideas about what bus goes from horizontal to vertical. You know
you're
it's getting real.
And straight into the eco round for LEV. So, got plenty of time to think about what they might want to do on this round here. Deep knife. Again, that's going to be catching on to Leaf. They're going to go fast still to pull. It delays the eventual push and pull from all these players, but eventually going to be overwhelming that spot still. Valen's there to pick up the pieces. The aim on point.
Down B.
And fast hits like this over towards B, they're just not going to be that successful for LEV. Com takes one, but when you have to get through the pull, Icy's got a teleport over here as well.
And there it is.
And you've got Leaf setups to try to get through. That's way too much.
I'm going to be paying close attention, I think, to Leaf's positioning here on the defense. One of the things I notice is, you know, when you see a Cypher player and they're uncomfortable, and they're playing that tight one and done corner, you get caught out by a knife more than often. If that keeps happening...
At the same time, though, Brent, even if he's suppressed in this position, that pull on the floor, and the fact that you have Viper utility to potentially play around too, it does give him a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, you're right. Supportive util, just so that they can delay.
G2 have just got so many layers to what they can do on the defense now that they've added the Astra into the equation.
Moving around the players as well here for the bonus round. 3 grouped up. Dart reveals all, though. Jonah P is actually tucked up close here. Onto the angle, we'll have to retreat. Bit of damage exchanged. Zaspas has dropped down as well.
One of the things that G2 don't do very much of on their defense side across all of their map pool is try to re-clear and look for info back in these kind of spots. Icy doesn't do it because he's not particularly aggressive and they don't have as many set plays. They're going to invest the drone here, though, and Trent realizes nobody's in A main anymore. Unfortunately for G2, it's only Leaf right now defending the B site, and Valen's got a bucket to get over there in time.
Going for a split. Players up through mid. Holding their ground for now, but with the cage up to try and cut up the sight line again. They're going to be sending it forwards, at least with that drone broken. Knife against the back. That's going to be taken down the setup, but not before the cages are sent up and flying. Dart revealing, but weaving in and out. Valen.
Spike down.
Definitive chances for him to do the most, and Leaf, this guy, I mean, he's just an actual imposter in the midst of them. But as the war fades away, so do some of the chances, maybe, for Leviathan. King gonna try and bail them out.
One enemy remaining.
Carve out a path of success. Trent is left alone in a 1v2. A flood attempt from this team brings it down to this. Only advantage Trent has, which is Spike being down, but he's missed the timing. There's a chance there for the shot wide and out! The player's not ready!
Good thing I
they
was
can't
with you.
contain
Yes.
this guy!
That's an unbelievable 1v2. The recon dart distracting Com in the moment, and you see it. Former teammate there, Tex, stunned by what he's witnessed. 3 rounds in a row now for G2. On the bonus. Red Bull clutch here. Look at this. Recon thrown through. Finds the timing just as King swings out from pillar. And Com's crosshair placement is off because he had to break that recon. Trent's amazed. What a play to go for there.
Could barely believe it now, unfortunately. Some bad news.
What's the bad news? Yeah, going for it because he's only 2 away from getting the Blade Storm active. So even if he gets absolutely nothing done here, a death will get him 1 away and then an alt orb in the next, and he's good to go. So a great time to get a hero rifle into his hand. But if you remember back, it didn't work on Bind. The one time they tried that strategy.
Let's see, though. Looks like they're leading into an A split, mid-control. And main control. You're going to be seeing probably Com using a drone. Rest of the team trying to follow up with it.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't look like they want to commit to this. Aspas backing off. When you have a hero rifle, you kind of want to just post Aspas up and see if he can get a pick. And if he fails, see if he can, you know, someone else picks it up, maybe King or something like that, and see if he can snowball around that way. Passing it between you.
Well, good time with a drone. Trent is going to get that recognition. At least now they can hear the rumble of the footsteps against the corrugated metal. Right past this one now with Aspas and the dash. Now activated. He's missed the timing for it, but he's really cut up the corner. I mean, Valorant now is going to have a hard time to try and really shut that one down, but he does so. Rooted to the spot. They will not be able to pass any sort of angles.
Great shooting from the IGL of G2. Stopped all of that danger in the round. There's no chance you can retrieve that Vandal. Alan's got it completely locked.
One enemy remaining.
Cheeky timing from
Spike
King.
down A.
Eventually punished, so 4-0. G2, this is a fantastic lead that they managed to gain, but LEV should now have the weaponry online. Of course, Aspas did invest, so he's going to have to somehow get an orb across the map. G2, they could fit that into their game plan.
Yeah, they absolutely could. I mean, the A ult orb is going to be the one that you go for most of the time. So setting up some kind of play here, where, for example, you have the Yoru try to flash around and triple swing over towards A main, something of that idea is what you'd be. Now, I see the timer paused at the top.
That's not, listen, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Forcing into that prior round, so he's 1 away from his Blade Storm. And G2 could choose to cook up a strategy around trying to punish the orb grab.
And that was what we were theory crafting, this play over towards A. Icy late to the spawn barrier, but is in position to go for something aggressive. Aspas picks it up. They have to dodge the knife radius there, G2, so they're not in position to punish. But they do go for a re-clear.
Yeah, late re-clear as well. It's a dart and a flash. TP back, Valin. He's going to be catching the contact of a multitude of players. Nobody clears this corner. Barrel sticks out, but takes with the response. Does equalize it. Now the door opens wide. Smokes at the feet. Snakebite. Vulnerable out, but not enough really here for Tex to get anything going. Aspas still with the knives. Thompson over. Hunter's Fury. Shouldn't like fish in a barrel. Whacking your head though with the updraft. Aspas with the movement. Can't quite avoid it. 2v3. King looked his way deep into the backline with the damage done. Set up prior. Doesn't know where to expect that secondary player. And Leaf shutting it down and bringing it to the 2v1. We'll play this one together. You can see that discipline, but shot through the wall. Leaf falling low. Com wondering which position to play from. Not knowing where Icy could be. As a dart, no theft. Advantage surely to G2 here, at least with the players, but it might just need a bit of those heroics. Shot dart close, backing away. Just needs the 1 kill to set things into motion. Haven't pushed him back and away, but he is guarded. And the fuse stuck, let loose as well, so Icy can earn up a dimensional drift.
This is a disastrous beginning here for Leviathan on a map that really should be favoring them. I think it was 13-6 the last time these two teams played. Wow. I think I just saw a flash of a tactical timeout there.
Yep.
But bear in mind, guys, that the teams don't have the ability to talk to each other during these tech pauses, so it's not like the LEV coaches have been discussing strategy this entire time. They haven't had an opportunity to really adjust the flow of this game. All right.
Turn the tide of this round as well in particular. Again, another one to break the back, I should say, of the economy of Leviathan.
Heading to the
Mazzino
above.
one away from his KO ultimate. And so I think that's why they've
Starting to flash.
the setup.
Real proactivity.
Oh, that's amazing.
And a delayed dart. We're gonna light them all up. Icy set up for a quick two-piece. And Trent, I mean, he's offloaded the Hunter's Fury to support, but it wasn't even necessary. Trent's in a different direction. Tex getting a run on and a move on, seeking to punish Trent. Locked away into the drone, but now he's the one who might just be punished. Doors opened up as well. Too many angles, too many sight lines. Knows that one's a clone, but how does he manage that? He just can't. It's traded.
These defense rounds are being played pretty much perfectly by G2. Icy there to back up Trent as well. And LEV, they found a gap into the B site, but they're in a 2v4. Forced to take a fight before the plank goes down, really. And this is where the discipline of G2 is just excellent. Valen's not really taking an aggressive position. He's on an angle where he's massively favored, and then Icy Leaf doubled up. And they've spotted the aggression from LEV. Now LEV are forced to go for the plant and just play the 2v4. How do King and Mazzino work this?
Valen way ahead of the pack, but you're right. How do they work this particular spot?
Icy going into ult here does give them opportunities to gather info, but it does mean that that double up, Valen has to go and fight with Leaf now so that there's the buddy system intact.
That's the one, Cosmic Divide. Split up the site, forcing a play now out of these players. No one to really disrupt this one. Who is going to be holding the wall? Mazzino catches the first, catches the second, right through the wall, King! It's beautiful! Magnificent work from them, Jonah P. Blooms and blossoms the orb, a tap as well. Just wondering where Mazzino's position could be played! And out in the open! What a turn of events here for Leviathan!
The least likely of the rounds for them to be able to take away a 2v4. Played brilliantly by Mazzino in particular. He got one with a peek, playing back sight, and then the second off screen. Let's take a look at the replay. Because this one, back of the head of Icy, who just didn't quite realize where Leaf had died from. Normally, these are the rounds that G2 clean up very nicely. Buddy system, double up, trade people out. But LEV found those aggressive peak timings, and G2's set play comes to naught. Remember, the beginning of that round was absolutely fantastic, and they invested huge ults there as well.
So a bit of a full reset when it comes to that ult economy.
Yeah, and again, because Mazzino has his KO ultimate up, you see Leaf here playing inside halls with his setup over on the opposite side of the map, so he can't get shut down by the null command. So two separate anti-KO setups, one aggressive and one, this one, more passive, but both achieving the same goal of making this hard for LEV to get into B.
It's almost too readable here for LEV. Shot down close, just in case. The trips is still up here. Nepal and a snake bite! Combined might. Can't get past the choke point here, but lit up gives him an opportunity. Trent, take it out with a wall bang. Still playing a bit of patience for G2. Slow this one down here. Give them access to the site. Still open fight as well to be taken on these sightlines, but it's only Com who's left alive. We'll try and get this plan down as well, but the back sticking out means he's even denied that. No chance of the extra money.
That's a fantastic anti-KO setup. You've got the pull, and Valen's on the opposite side of the map. You've got two trips to play around. Not that they had as much impact, but still, that pressure, that fear in the minds of Leviathan. And then you've still got the snake bite that comes through from Jonah P right before he's taken offline and suppressed. Beautifully worked there, G2. 2 rounds in a row. Yeah, they didn't win in round 6, but the actual game plan, the setup, was still immaculate, and it took a hero 2v4 to win it for LEV. So far, G2 are playing an amazing game on Breeze.
It's a map that we didn't really accredit to them.
Yeah, and the reason for that is that when things went to the attack side, they only won 2 out of 12 rounds last time. Hopefully, they've made that look a bit better. Otherwise, we could be in for a storming comeback come the side swap.
That's true over the top here. You can look at the pulls that's being used. G2 seeking to delay the inevitable here, which is the overwhelming might of LEV, seeking to take some names. And potentially some guns if they can get access to the side as well. Jonah P, head on a swivel, knows he's being postured and approached onto this spot. Can't open himself up and needs some teammates to back him up still. Evened out now. 2 left to stand. They know what Aspas's positioning is in a crouched peek from Valen.
Planted the spike. My ultimate is ready.
Too hard of a fight here for Aspas, and Tech's now left. Essentially an unwinnable scenario. Unless he can hit some miracle shots, but G2 never want to let anything slip.
Especially considering they just lost a 4v2 in round 6, making sure that they triple up in that spot and offer Tex no opportunities to deal a death blow to his former squad. Clean anti-eco there. I think it's fair to say G2 have completely dominated this half already. Even if LEV run it back all the way, this is still a very successful defense side. And it would be surprising to see LEV turn it around at this point. They've got a Hunter's Fury to try to work with. Com's normally good at being able to get a pick. You know, you'll often see the Hunter's Fury coming along this lane of the map, putting pressure along where the classic Cypher position is.
Right here.
We'll pit down over towards A. Knife is used early into mid here by LEV. They're not going to have this one, at least for the first 30 seconds or so, for an exec into B, which looks like that's what they want to gear up for.
And we've seen both teams put a pretty heavy emphasis towards these halls lurks. Tech's going for it, Trent watching for it.
Slow round.
And again, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, does G2 have these level of game plans once we get to the attack side? But we'll have to wait to see all about that. Here, LEV takes some elbow control. And Comms is still in a good position to go for his Hunter's Fury.
Well, Knife's back online, and that's going to signal a chance to really move forwards. Knife is actually dodged here. Leaf setup. Still alive and kicking. Throwing through the choke. Double flash is being utilized here by Mizzino, just underhanded in their approach. Valen, though, is cut it up. Still this war they've got to deal with. They don't really know how far these players have actually committed, but impeccable work. Leaf with a crosshair placement. Drops up and props up that cage, but still Aspas claims it's one of the kills. 4v4 now, Pit. Dropped down by King. In through the back lines, and Valen, a necessary agent there. He's trying to sow some chaos, but he's not able to get it done. Clone ignored. Decay's still there. King gives up the Pit because they know exactly where Icy is. Spammed away, bullet tag down to single digits.
And a nice round executed by Leviathan. Creeping up behind that defensive wall. It's not their attack side wall that was being up there, but really nicely used G2's wall to their favor. I gotta say, this is the Aspas round that we've been waiting for.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about the fact that we expected him to be the star player for LEV on this map, on the attack side, on the defense side, both. And here, picking off both of those B site anchors, making things winnable for his team.
Operator investment here for Icy. And a mid play by G2. This is aggressive. Orbs up. They know this is clear. They've got plenty of players in front of it looking to punish the solo lurk plays. And King is in danger. There's really, no exit strategy. He's going to have to fight his way out.
Yeah, his angles are good, though, when he tucks in that corner. As long as he doesn't get timinged, he's probably going to find his way out, and this is going to be horribly awkward in mid. Yeah, could be for either team. It just depends who gets the info first.
6 cents for King for him to back away, but as the cage goes up, they're just not making any noise. They're creeping up behind them, and plenty of targets. It's a rich environment, but can they drop them? Only the one.
It's the spike, though, that's been dropped in tunnel.
What a critical misplay. King with the timing, taking it past it. No one was covering that drone. The reclear from Trent. Spam into the box. LEV have got that firepower. They could manage to carve out a path, but it all comes down to this. These fights right here, Leaf. Tip-tap just dancing around the pillar. Valen getting caught and chewed up there by the trip. So now it is a chaotic beginning.
Spike
Potentially
down,
end
B.
this entire round.
Not a great play by Tex there, swinging on his own, allowing Jonah P to pick up a free one. Another swing alone into 2 players, like you're saying, from G2. Need more coordination from LEV in those kind of spots. And now it's all down to King trying to make a miracle happen again.
There's just no time with the position that they've got. Have to pull off the impossible.
10 seconds left.
Only a few seconds left at this point. Yeah, will fall. 8-2.
A pull on the spike as well. G2 holding passively in a few of the rounds that we saw prior, and then decided to go for a much more aggressive look. Not necessarily stomping their way down mid, though, quietly tucking themselves into crossfire positions. That setup would have been amazing against an A split, and then as soon as Tex threw his first cyber cage, they realized it was a B split and were able to get that timing behind as well. Of course, it could have gone badly for them if anybody on LEV had taken a look back towards mid, but it's an unexpected spot to clear.
Get out of my
Another
way.
round, I'm afraid, where you're looking at Aspas to try to make miracles happen for LEV.
Oh, but he's blinded up. Can't take a fair fight there, not against Icy, and Icy gets out of dodge, commits to TP nice and early.
It was G2 that only got 2 rounds on their attack side last these two teams faced. LEV could be held to the same here. Trent with another nice timing
This
down.
is so proactive by G2.
Yeah, they're finding amazing
But it's
gaps.
being watched. Any overextension by Trent would be punished.
He heard a footstep.
He did. Should be making a call. They'll know it, though. At least with the Viper wall going up.
Toxins going up.
Trent, there's the punish. No horse lurk in action here. The players are working their way in, though, using the cages, but it does not block the bullets. And still Jonah P not being cleared out. Dividing up the site, just splitting it up. Up trap, play by Aspas matters into his own hands. It's going to take more of that, I think, if they're going to stand a chance here in this particular round. Drone through and abound. Getting that tag, Aspas. He's hoping for a fair fight, at least potentially an easier one. Shock darts. Narrowly avoiding death and defeat there by Com. And now going to be sticking that plant. G2 will try and take these fights together. Valin, flank attempts occurring. Icy from behind. Everything falling apart.
And G2, they squeeze things down there. Amazing reposition from Icy, using that dimensional drift to ping out the locations of the LEV post-plant players, and then taking up a spot in A main that cut off another few angles for the rest of the team. Love how G2 are playing this
Last
one.
round
Every
before the
defense
switch.
setup works. I want to point out as well that when Jonah P is taking a fight on A, they don't bloom the smoke immediately. They allow Jonah to take a pick first, and then the smoke comes up from Valid. This is really nice usage of the Astra. It's not the basic stuff. They've got layers to what they're doing, if you couldn't tell already. This has been pretty much 11 rounds of excellence from G2. Even the rounds that they were losing, they had fantastic ideas.
I'd agree. Little moments where they just choose to switch up the tempo, past the conditioning, because it's all been slow play, not too much in terms of proactivity. Aggressive defensive plays here. One away for Mazzino to get that ult in the final round here, the first half. Util already flying forward. It's going to be delaying them. Aspas, the only one who can really get into the sight in the barrel. Just sticked out enough for them to collect Jonah P. Still revealed though, underhanded flash. No one really going to be revealed out into the open. Everybody playing anti towards it. Dart into the back clears it, and Aspas is eager to take some of that space. Map control for them. Hunter's Fury here. Popped off in time, Mazzino. He will survive, but a moment and a distraction is necessary. The Tex will just be causing all sorts of issues. And still not aware of it. Aspas, a deep pushed up position from all of that. Prior Util onto the side. Tay cannot win the fight.
One enemy
Tap goes the rifles, but eventually the team there to clean it up for Leviathan. A 9-3 finish. Maybe not what they were looking for or anticipating.
Nowhere
Switching
near
sides.
what they were anticipating. Lev, coming into this, would have been expecting that they were the favorites. And that's all it took. To take away Jonah P, suddenly that smoke no longer has any danger. And that's the big thing that Lev was struggling with the whole time. A 9-3 half looks immaculate for G2, but last time they only got 2 rounds on attack.
Well, let's send it down to Smith. She's standing by with Shy, actually, at the co-streaming booth, someone who's deeply familiar with both of the... And we are straight back into the swing of things here. This is aggression off the rip by Lev. Doubled up, creeping down into halls. But G2, what is this anticipation? Spotting just the heads there. I think Icy maybe even just gate crash back into the action, and they can't escape from it! Trent bites back, classic in hand.
Not turning to try to deal with that, not expecting that G2 would go for such a quick re-clear. 3v5, looking horrible for Lev.
And a
This
pistol
map,
round, man.
I mean, it's gonna take something to pull this one back.
Really is. Maybe Mazzino could be the man to step up towards it, but just jumping around is too much to overcome. Swarmed! And as a 10-3 round differential, G2 with a pistol round win. Looking inevitable.
G2 recently against 100 Thieves let a massive lead slip away from them to lose their spot in the grand finals of this tournament. But this time, they're up 7 rounds. They're on an anti-eco. And so far, they've demonstrated some incredibly good game planning on Breeze. So surely not again. They were very aware of that double push coming down halls on the pistol. We've got another double push happening over on the opposite side of the map there. Kind of this route through elbow. LEV just monitoring that with his cam and his trip as the rest of G2 look to try to drive things into A.
Gonna tag as well. Com gonna be backing away from that angle. Do they spot the player towards the back? It's a pull. Oh, Icy in danger. Certainly so, and more so. G2, they just can't quite really handle these kills. LEV even a bit tenuous there into the mid angle. They are dropping like flies. Jonah P, how have you managed that? In a blink of an eye.
And I hope I haven't spoken it into existence.
Yeah, man, I mean...
This wasn't even a round where LEV forced into this.
No.
They had very little going for them in terms of the economy.
That is so confusing as to how that even happened. I mean, Icy getting caught out.
Yeah, I mean, didn't exactly see all of it from Icy's POV, but yeah, they're not aware of a recon dart that gets thrown in. Nobody breaks it. Icy's way ahead of the rest of his team. Oh. And yeah, doubled up to try to deal with LEV, who was playing through mid as well. That is a rough one, but it's not going to matter if G2 can pick things up once rifles get on board.
Aspas for the outlaw. He's definitely got at least sights onto Jonah P.
You do not want Leviathan to build up any level of economy for Aspas to start opping. In this round, obviously, the outlaw against no armor or light armor, that's going to be phenomenal. But once we get into rifle rounds, you can't allow LEV to build up crazy eco and just get it. That's how snowballs happen with Aspas.
Yeah.
He's going to be taking fights aggro, disrespecting your utility, and probably winning duels at long range on this map.
Full group up now from G2.
I go to
Yeah,
spike.
playing things quite slowly. Looking to try to head over towards B. There's some very common execs that we'll be looking for here. Teleports into the back with an Astra Star. I actually saw LEV pinging that out during the halftime. So they're really aware of this kind of stuff, but this is different.
Yeah, okay. I mean, a bit of a fake gate crash. It was a knife that stunted the initial push, with Valin also falling and toppling Dart. Gonna be really aware. Look at it. Just gives the perfect time for Mazzino to spray down through into the smoke. One away from the ult, by the way.
Worth him chasing for the glory and for the ult.
And for the ace. But are they going to leave him alive? I mean, Aspas has got 1 bullet left. Oh, okay. Still.
Well, I think we're about to see the upgrade, I would imagine, because everyone on G2 is going to be buying full armor. So do they go for dropping an op for Aspas?
30 секунд. Остался 1 враг.
Lovely round from Mazzino there.
Yeah, it is.
But round 16, this is where we see whether the comeback is real or not. I know that seems strange when they're 5 rounds behind still, but yeah, again, nobody going for the op purchase for Aspas. He's got to make this work with an outlaw against a team of full armor. Mistimed though by LEV. They needed that molly to come earlier
Poison's off.
so that the vulnerable was applied.
I mean,
Still doing good chip damage.
Trent, he's going to be thanking his lucky stars, I think, that he's still alive here. But yes, good chip damage, but an ult gained.
We've also got this classic setup we see from both of the LATAM teams where you've got an opper there and somebody holding over towards elbow.
Aspas
Here.
sees directly down into it. I think G2 were jump spotting this one, even considering using a drone to clear him out.
Obviously, I say opper, but again, Aspas has to be using this more like a marshal, going for the headshots. He's aware of the eco. He knows that these guys should be using full armor.
Hard to cross into mid, but LEV. Pretty good read that this is going to be landing and ending over towards A. Com. Jump spotting, all the noise in the world being made. Oh my God, he just missed the timing on that one, and now he's going to be met with a couple of rifles and bullets. Players here through the wall. Might get lucky and claim a kill. No, instead it's King who falls. Aspas forced to back away from this one. He can't take a fight close and personal with that Outlaw into his hands. Flash is dodged by Mazzino, but Icy too quick with it.
G2 are going to get a nice post plant here. The LEV players not in position to go for any kind of fast retake and actually getting locked out by some of the Astra util as well. Not sure whether... No, Valen does not have any stars on recall, so he's not going to have that pull on the spike, but I don't think they'll need it. Maybe if Tex can root Valen out of this spot, and in fact he does, so the game is on.
Yeah, the game is on. Like you said, not going to have any of that post-plant pull util. G2, a couple of players need to find their shots. Leaf, he's heating up. Drops it down to just the 2. And a reminder again, Aspas with the weaponry, it's not ideal. Time ticking. Leaf will take the peak and take the fight, but really his team should have this one in the bag.
Any damage here, though, is good. They've already knocked armor off Trent and Icy, but if they could take another weapon, unfortunately, yeah, this explosion is going to be between the two teams, stopping LEV from harassing the rest of the G2 players who get up to 11. So it's good damage from LEV on their bonus round, but they'll have been hoping for more there. A conversion would have been just what the Doctor ordered to start a comeback from happening, or to start the comeback happening, I should say. Killed them. Now that we're heading into the next round, though, almost guaranteed that Aspas is going to go for the operator.
Oh, yeah.
And here it is, round 17, Aspas off. And considering that G2 have been putting a premium on taking A main control and farming the orb and that kind of thing, and the fact that Icy is 1 away from the orb, I would be expecting LEV to be challenging A main with that. But they're not going for it.
No,
they're going to allow the ult to go the way of G2.
Down into mid. Orb in his face, though. Aspas can't really do much with that. Has to be worried about multitude of other angles, so he backs himself away.
The thing is here, as soon as you don't see Icy's ult come online in A main, you might be thinking that the root of G2 is somewhere completely else. That's why Aspas is trending over here. It doesn't feel like they've taken heavy A main because the Yoru ult didn't come online.
Look how concerned he is that they've looked their way up through mid.
I think they've got a great read here just because that ult orb hasn't been taken onto the premium target.
They can hear it. Footsteps, at least. Aspas knows that something's up. Door opened up. Go now straight through. King is locked in this position here. Bit of a one and done now, and the approach comes down into the double door angle. How does Trent go down to the util? Still, Mazzino is ducking and dodging it. King! This guy was never in trouble.
He knew there wasn't any real pressure coming from A main. He dealt with that target and then swung around and added another 3 to it on the G2 players splitting through double doors. What is that?
Time for King to step up.
Yeah, Mazzino and King, the two core players from Leviathan, showcasing why they've survived the chops and changes on this roster and its evolution into a super team. Look at that. He's been so great in spots like that. And he's helped Leviathan start the comeback in reality now. This is where you start to knock G2's eco down.
I can't believe this by Aspas. At least the window angle being held. Dash is popped and active, but no one's going to be giving him any sort of easy kills. In fact, spotted by the cam.
It's actually the fight over towards A main that is most dangerous for LEV, I think. That flash doesn't even catch onto anyone.
G2 want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, they have. I mean, LEV boldly have full read cleared out A main in this timing. That's going to give them plenty of info. But G2 have been playing around mid control, and so that's where Aspas is focused, not towards B. A drone, though, from Com clears through double doors as well, so they're very confident it's not an A split.
And they're starting to stack it with players too. They have a knife and a lot of delay util. There's the first one.
This is
you sent flying nade as well.
Potential for that TP into the...
Oh, they don't want to take it.
Yeah, well, actually, I think it was
in the process by the knife, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So lovely play by Mazzino there, disrupting that execute. Normally be a gate crash into the smoke.
I get worried about the time here for G2.
King could win the round again.
I absolutely could. Still locking it down here. Even with the pistols in hand, it's a beautiful flash. He managed not. Bats it away.
Better to be lucky than good, and King's got both, hasn't he?
12 seconds left. Leaf, got to go down here. Take a fight. Don't want to be saving that one into the next. So this is LEV. Like you said, the comeback is on at this point. It's not a huge round buffer they've got to work with, of course. I mean, G2 only have to convert 2 rounds, but This might be the time to do it for them. Plenty of ults in the back pocket, cornucopia of it.
Exactly. This is G2's opportunity to stop the momentum now that they have a bunch of ultimates online.
Spike down.
King has
A.
been a menace, though, dominating towards A main. I think G2, rather than focusing on an ult play, might just want to make sure that any retakes over towards A get stopped. Aspas is going to challenge this take over towards elbow right at the start.
Again, full trust in the window position being held here with a cage. Popped up here, deep knife that's cross map.
Again, A main being re-cleared in this situation.
What fight it?
This proactivity means that LEV can heavy stack, but they've got to get the players to get a move on. Dimensional drift up, going to be spotting out Aspas, in fact, with a body block damage. Done, it's the assist, setting up Aspas! Oh, this guy will not be removed, I see. Still something to say about it, though. Get themselves onto the site, to pit down into the post.
This
There are
pit,
chances here.
this pit is difficult to play around as the post planter because you just get surrounded. Aspas on top, turret mode.
Yeah, they weren't expecting that one. I think Aspas updrafted just behind the Cosmic Divide. Obfuscated it. Any intent that he was going to be playing perched up. Now it leaves it to Jonah P. He's got the pit to maneuver around. Finds the first, finds a second, 5 HP. Molly, straight to the sky. Now retreats to a more defensible position. Spamming away. Aspas. Options running out.
Time.
Jonah P, this is a masterclass from him, and yep, time has run out.
Outrageous from Jonah P.
Could not hunt him out of the pit, could not stiff him out.
Oh, and the operator goes as well. The economy is still good for LEV here, but G2 getting up to 12 in a round where Aspas was popping, and Tex got double kills defending the B site. I was ready to talk about the fact that pits like that are really hard to play around because your opponents can surround you.
Enemy remaining.
You don't have a safe back up against the wall position, but Jonah found the timing on both of those players. G2 have played a lovely game here, and they've found the individual moments when it matters.
Big
Just as
hero
Jonah
plays,
did.
man.
Time to jump.
Big knife again here, but this is a turning point for G2. LEV have managed to put an operator in Aspas's hands.
Leaf's position here is really nice as well.
I mean, that's a spam from Tunnel. Straight down when they see the orb popped up. Mazzino lying inside of it. He's got to be worried. No contention, though, from G2. Not for now. Not that I've lost this player.
If King goes for information, or Tex goes for information,
Have a repeat and punish. Aspas, quick. We're not quick enough to escape. The ire of G2, somehow this advantage situation turns to a 3 versus 3.
I don't think King is making footstep noises here as he leaves the pit. So Leaf doesn't know he has a timing. But as soon as the pit drops, he's going to start thinking about it.
It's crosshair placement.
Should they head back to A here? Leaf's going to be giving them these kind of comms. But G2 are playing very spread right now. And King's positioning is pretty difficult to get a read on. Could get timinged if Leaf was playing aggro, but he's not. He's just holding his position over towards
King's
A
going for a
main.
re-peek, potentially.
And the re-clear towards elbow.
Okay, 30 seconds.
30 seconds
G2,
left.
which direction? King spotted, sees 2, going for the re-fight. Com, drop down, sat
player
down
standing.
towards the spectator seat. Almost the entirety for them, and guess what? They're going to be exiting them soon enough.
I know exactly.
G2 on the precipice here of taking this map. Make it nice and even, 1-1 here in this best of 5 lower finals. And there it is. Final kill of the Mazzino will seal it up there. So here we stand, 1-1 in our best of 5.
But last time we saw G2 play, you remember the kind of plays that they were going for? 4 stacking over towards A, getting Leaf the Killjoy deep into A nest. And those were specific anti-strats, always farming the ult orb. That was specifically antiing crew. That doesn't really work against what LEV are bringing in here. They have shock mollies, and they're going to go for a B split on a pistol.
The preparation has run deep so far. Why would it stop now for LEV? Looking to overwhelm this position, but it's all being called and collected. Corralling up these players. Jonah P delivers at least 2. Worried about his back, but his teammate has it. Icy with a dizzy and a repeat. You know where Mazzino is.
You did good.
Seeking to put them down here. A lot of isolated fights being taken. It's Com winning 1 versus Icy, but Trent catches the rotation.
Spike
And
down,
with
mid.
that, essentially the round should be over. Still, anything could happen on the pistol.
And there's
Upgrade
still-
acquired.
And there's still a minute left here, Brent. So there are actually chances for Com to try to isolate some picks. They've completely lost information
know where
about
he
where
is.
he's playing. No, they have no idea. So that does give him chances to hit a timing. And that kind of variance is always going to favor the player that's down in terms of numbers.
Slow and steady now.
And again, all of this utility is kind of meaningless in situations like this because you don't want to give away exactly where you are.
Exactly.
On both sides.
30
See,
seconds left.
Trent is positioning. Oh, it's a game of timings. I think it's been one out. Yeah, by Trent, the G2 squad. Enough damage really done there.
area.
Pretty good read of how to dismantle that one when you go into the B split. Punished for the creativity on Icebox.
Definitely. But I also want to point out that G2 did the same strategy again, where they're doubling up against Aspas's entry. Look at that. He swings Aspas alone into 2 players of G2.
Yep.
Keep that in your head, because that has been happening all the time throughout playoffs. It's how they shut down Oxy. It's how they shut down Kesnit. And it might be how they shut down Aspas as well. He was limited to only 2 first bloods and 4 first deaths on Breeze. That's not the kind of numbers you expect to see from the superstar player of Leviathan.
The Dawn and a Cascade ricocheting. Able to take that front B main control. G2 posting back up. Look at this from Jonah P. I mean, tucked to the side.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of teams being very stubborn around their positioning towards yellow.
Yeah, Aspas has activated it, looking for a fight. Orb though in his face. Jonah P. Surely you gotta evade this one. You're the one with the rifle. Backs away now, retreating. Wash pit. Be any follow-up with that. Lev on their eco, looking to get a plan down as well, so the extra money is available, but wrong crosshair, wrong positioning here. G2 cleaning up the stragglers.
Yeah, making this one fairly clean. Com's going to go for that post-plant flank, something that he loves doing on maps like this. But caught by the alarm bot, shut down by Trent.
Yeah.
Good awareness, and only Mazino left.
Where's the player left? They're still min-maxing the ults.
Yeah.
You know, the IC's like, what, 4 away, 3 away now, I suppose. Even closer now that he went down, but...
So, again, if you're keeping track at home, that is G2 with another pistol round win. Leviathan are yet to win a pistol. It is so difficult to win series of any type, frankly, if you're not winning pistol rounds. It's because it gives you that excellent beginning to the half, the opportunity to snowball. You're more likely to have your ults online as well because you're getting more of the kills.
One enemy remaining.
And here, G2 have that opportunity to capitalize once more. It's 4 players over towards A. This is a strat they ran against Crew where they push somebody into Nest. Look at that ping on the minimap, though. Lev already thinking about it.
What are you expecting it? They know Leaf's been doing this one. This was their bonus round strat last time. Exact same playbook. High Tide whips its way across there, cutting away the available positions of these Lev players. How does Leaf choose to play this one? I mean, doesn't exactly have long-range weaponry, but still Com will fall. This is some trying to find it. Did they spot that one? Oh my God, Leaf will not be able to escape.
So 1 for 1, and now I think Lev should have a great understanding of how many G2 players there are around here. I mean, they've got to know that this was a very heavy stack, but they don't really have info on the rest of the map. Valen's in a very committed position here, looking to try to win the round out himself.
And no one's there to play off him. That is nice by Tex. Wasn't really holding the crosshair placement for it. Still adjusts in time. 2 players towards the back of the site. I think this would cause a bit of a pause for Lev, but I actually want to commit the ult instead and just try and clean up these players. Make it nice and easy now. Still 2 left. Trent finally stunned up, holding his ground, finally falling.
Player standing.
And they know that the final player was behind. Jonah P broke the turret, so they'll be super aware of this kind of stuff.
Making a bit of noise as well. Top of the ropes, Mazino. Flexing on us a little bit.
So Lev chose to have a really kind of safe opening to the round as soon as they realized that G2 were fighting over A. That high tide coming through, indicating that there was a fight to be had, but Com just gets unlucky in that
Unfortunate.
spot. But they still managed to get the punish onto Leaf, and they don't start that kind of massive snowball that we saw in the game against Crew, where Leaf was going crazy. He was picking up the Outlaw constantly and dominating with it. He's got that weapon again, but everyone on Lev has full armor.
They're very aware.
Yeah, I think you can see here that Lev have done their homework.
This is basically the same playbook, I think, for G2 on the defensive half. When they get the Outlaw in Leaf's hand, locks down the sight line into mid. Just with brute force, though, making sure that they can take this A side. Look at it, not even worried about a high tide. Already passed it, contacting. Using the drone to make sure that everything's cleared. G2 going to be fully off the sights here. Not sure what they've got up their sleeves to see if they can delay and deny this plant. Mazino inside the cove really does hide where the spike is going to be planted.
He also didn't take any damage somehow. Not quite sure.
And King wants to fight forwards. I mean, Leaf rips it away. What a shot to the brain. Mazzino, he's there right when it matters, but eventually dropped anyway. Still got 2 players. Still play at disadvantage. Here for Leviathan, going to be playing now. Forcing out his ultimate with Aspas falling. He saw down a Tex. Up onto the high ground. Icy already spotted. He's got to know that nobody was on it, but G2, that was a clean flood attempt right back into things.
Lev knew that G2 were going to go for the flood. That's why you saw Mazzino and Com, I believe it was, swinging aggressively into backside. The problem was, Aspas wasn't with them. Tex was back, playing over towards the post plants. It just didn't look as coordinated. They clearly know that G2 are a flood defending team. But here, when King and Com fight with Mazzino, 3 of them fighting forwards, but they don't quite deny it in the way they're looking for.
Yeah.
Nice! Yo, I'm a menace with this weapon, bro.
It's so true. He is a menace with this weapon, and he's going to keep it into the next round, where now everybody on Lev is a one-tap.
Absolutely going to be getting value. Leaf loves to go for his deep pushes. Down the tube occasionally. This time he will hold his ground, which is the top section of Boiler.
G2, though, are going to use this round to get up to massive ultimates that can be used for retakes and all sorts of other things. I mean, the combination of the Harbor ult and the Sova ult is a menace on its own, and then Icy's one away from Thrash, so... Yeah. If Lev were able to put together some kind of Thrifty, this would be the perfect timing. But more likely, G2 are going to look to try to mop up this B hit as it comes through. They're headed towards Leaf, who again has got that outlaw. Everybody is 1 shot, 1 kill.
The smokes in his face though with a high tide. Packages it up. I mean, Lev going for a pretty similar play. They did this one round 2, seeing if they can take control of all of the intersections of the site. Good awareness, Aspas. Time to come alive from him with the Guardian in his hands. A few shots rattled away. Only the 1 casualty. Hunter's Fury, good connections. The Tex falling. Comes down to these big moments, and Aspas. Again, it has to be him to step up to this challenge. Ult fused, reckoning inside the cove. King takes the fight towards him. Will not get away with it though with his life. Mazzino, high tide. Up in their faces. How do you deny this one? A quick tap as well. Only got bullets. You're gonna have to get lucky indeed. Body blocking the first layer of things. Valen sticking all the way. Earned his half. Round the side. Jonah P seeks to deny.
And G2 with plenty of time are going to mop that one up. Lev also invested some really big ultimates in there. They thought they had a chance to be able to win it. And another thing that I'm noticing is Aspas is playing for the late round. He's on Jet, and he's frequently been the second to last or last player alive in these situations. That doesn't seem sensible to me. He's got the tools to fight forwards. He's got the aim to maybe create you advantages in these spots, but he's not being able to find his moments to take those duels. Instead, it was people like King there looking to try to make the play with his frenzy inside the cove. Leaf keeps the outlaw again, refuses to part with this weapon, even though it's once more full armor for Lev.
Walls propped up on either side. Trouble is with the outlaw conditioning as well. I mean, it does force you to buy full armor. I don't think any util is going to be missing from Lev, but
it just means you're more likely to get ecoed, you know, an extra 1 time, maybe 2 times over the course of the attack arm.
Yeah.
Or over the course of the game, I suppose. Lev looking to try to take front A control at the same time as lurking people up B, and it's rewarded. King picks off Jonah P, who was looking to go for the rotate.
Jonah's drop, that's going to be calling now for the rotate. I mean, Aspas actually breaking the drone.
Yeah, and
it's pulled 2 players back.
They can pivot in either direction. G2 have got a very spread defense going on here, and Lev just looking to try to punish them for over-rotating. It's worked a treat, but you've still got to convert in this spot, and it's not like they're grouping up for a massive player advantage. This is only a 3v2 for Lev on site right now.
Exactly. It comes down to seeing if the shots can get hit and nailed. Com there, still holding for the walker. Mazzino just goes down to it. Don't know where he is with a spike drop down as well. What a critical mistake now here. The G2 players see if they can hold their ground. Reckoning. This will supplement at least for them to try and get the fight going. Forwards, not expecting that Com could be onto that angle already. 12 seconds, they're barreling over them. Has to be brute force, Valen. A nasty transfer.
Spike planted.
Lease of life, King snaps it back around. It could have been anyone's game in the final moments.
Crazy hero play there by Valen, shut down by King. Both IGLs going tete-a-tete in terms of the calling and also
Yeah.
the rifling towards the end. And King getting the better end of it in both departments actually in this round. Opening things up, closing things out,
Down A.
playing them like a fiddle.
Enemy remaining.
That doesn't mean it was easy, not by any means. And actually, all of that eco damage is still going to affect things for LEV. They're forced to buy full armor because they're worried about Leafs out dominate on this map so many times. By once he gets his team in a position to put the plant down, he's looking to fight people as soon as they're coming through choke points. We haven't necessarily seen that as much, or at least he hasn't been able to find his timings.
Up and over though, Leaf still holding it with the Outlaw.
Yeah, and King does not rebuy full armor here.
Everybody's grouped up. Surely they hear this one from the sound cues as well with that mid control that G2 have gained and gathered. Deep push as well onto the flank. So Leaf, if he gets one and gets out, maybe could be looking quite ideal. Still, Cove propped up, hung with the wall. Going to be escaping and evacuating, waiting for the rest of his team. Says he didn't see anything, but now it's time for the Thrash at least, sending it forwards and flying.
Cascade, cut off the top of the line.
It did indeed. And now that flank timing, it pays off massively. Right from behind, but they need to kill at least the crucial targets. It's King who's got this pit state. Right back up, Aspas into the back of sight.
Lovely reaction here to fight aggressive in the post plant.
And Leaf knows it. He's got to try and back away here. There's the 3 players that he's being accosted and assailed onto a position. Aspas, this guy is deadly. Just trying to run them all the way down. They flipped the map almost entirely. Time ticking.
They've left King, and King can actually defend the defuse.
Time is ticking. King still with a snake bite. Pit will fall. I think they've done enough, surely. Positioning out of nowhere. Hunter's Fury. Forced out of com. He doesn't even know if he doesn't have it. It's a classic in the face. What the hell is going on?
And I mean, technically, that is a Red Bull clutch from Com there. But I think it's King who delays long enough and stays inside his pit. Those players from G2 who are running through, they just didn't have the health to go for the defuse in that spot.
Yeah,
They're getting chunked down the whole time, and then there's a snakebite laid on top. That was a wild round, but it all starts because G2 do a triple push down mid and then cascade off the turret. So as they come through the flank, LEV call a really nice reaction to go forwards with Aspas, who was playing those aggressive positions. And that was what I was criticizing Aspas for not doing enough. That round pays off amazingly. That's why LEV need to be getting active in those post plants.
Looking to run it back again over towards A.
Well, they have the lockdown for it if they wanted to invest that kind of stuff. G2 dropped onto a bit of an eco. Icy's actually full invested. So that's a bit of a weird one.
It's a weird one, right, with the money.
Definitely strange.
2 rifles. Will they choose to use the ults? Valen's holding at least a bit of utility. Cascade forwards. Wall up as well in their faces. Gonna be stunting that first wave of the utility that LEV are just using to see if they can gain any space over towards the A site, and they call for a rotation anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Dizzy, you've seen Recon, you've seen Cascade, you've seen Killjoy utility. You know it's a stack. They didn't have the lurk to be able to go quickly over towards B, but
On the P.
still sending it into Jonah.
Yeah, orb up, make sure that he can make his escape, but not quite actually. Choose to post back up over towards the yellow box.
And if it was a rifle round, maybe he could rip the ult here, but instead he goes for the fight over towards yellow. Dies though. And
take
Aspas
risks.
on top, aggressive positions, paying off.
And everybody's been chopped up here on the G2 side of things. Shock darts. Push back the plan at least. Revealing here. Only 2 players from G2 to really do anything, any form of damage. Hello. Where's Valen pulled that one from, but you need a few more potentially. Are they going to double up now and try and take this one? Fight together, Valen. A decent job of things. I was hoping for a bit of a better gun. LEV, not willing to let this one slip. Already pushing way ahead of the high tide. Doubled up together.
A great call by Common Text there to try to take the fight forward into Valen. Would have been much harder if they got locked off by that Harbor util.
Double check it, please.
I think this adaptation has been nice from LEV. The tack timeout for G2 was called, understanding that they were actually losing the strategic battle, even if that wasn't reflected in the score. And G2 have not been able to really recover.
Death is cold.
The triple flank was a great attempt in round 7. And now we have another chance for G2 to stabilize things. It's 4-4 right now, but LEV, they're the ones that are making the adaptations and looking like they've got the answers.
And it all begins and starts always at this A side, just an exchange again with the walls. A few bullets raining down.
And this is a weird one, right? Because both teams have lockdown, both teams have Harbor ult.
I mean, Mazzino with the Reckoning, did they want to use a lockdown for the post?
Yeah, you're looking to try to use lockdown here for the retake, but Lev will try to deny it. Aspas is already on top of screens.
Yeah. Finding forwards.
So G2, they need to be investing Harbor here to even... Oh, I was going to say to get the lockdown into position, but they choose a passive one.
Used in kind, pound for pound. Respect going to be shown.
Yeah, and this doesn't get G2 the space that they're looking for. Everyone on Lev is still going to be on site here. This Harbor has got to be massive from Valen.
Take it back up again once more. Reckoning has to clear its way through here, but a stun's connecting. Comms there, spray not quite online for King. Still Aspas high ground, backs himself away. Putting this one into the 3v3. Already Nano Swarm deaded off. Icy on the defuse.
The Nano
At least
Swarm
with the wingman, it did miss, but denying at least the wingman. Still, they got to know the wall. The position have to be guarded. The G2 surely doing it. No way! Tex! That's monstrous.
Obvious the position of the diffuser, but under enormous pressure from the other two players who were seeking to defend Trent. What incredible aim there from Tex to be able to deal with both of those bodyguards. And hit the Red Bull clutch. That's 4 in a row there for Lev. Oh, and the timing.
Final bullet, man. Final bullet. Yeah, that is ridiculous. 0.22 milliseconds away. Tiniest of differences to decide that round.
Double ults used by G2 as well in that spot. Though they still have one to work with. This is a very light buy. And these rifle rounds have been super close. But Lev are taking them. And then they're also being able to convert the follow-up. Here, Jonah.
Oh my god,
it's
damage.
good damage, but he's going to get flanked right now.
Surely not. I mean, yeah, it doesn't get out. Whoa. Okay, the Bulldog could be unruly, don't get me wrong, but...
Put a leash on that thing.
Yeah, Com eventually secures the kill with it.
As Lev decide to rotate back over to A, though, they're going to be looking towards Valen. They're probably not going to want to use utility here to give away the fact that they've made that rotation, but they are pinging it out, looking to just clear it.
He's got too much to worry about. His head spotted as well with a jump up. Yep, easy pickings.
Nice contact clear of that spot.
Lev are going to be so aware of just those deep push plays. I mean, GT were doing it all the time. Last time they ended up playing Icebox. Splash the way this guy moves around the map. Look at this.
I love this.
Playground for him.
I love how much more aggressive and confident Aspas looks compared to the first kind of 4 or 5 rounds where we were watching him. He's finding those timings to press the advantages.
I see Sheriff in hand, but revealed by the dart gives him the perfect follow-up. The lead now, more than steadily being accrued. I mean, Lev, like you said, they've been winning the gun rounds and they've been winning these anti-ecos relatively cleanly. Great ideas in terms of how they want to play this map.
G2 have tried a few different ways of mitigating this. They've tried to push players into aggressive positions. They've looked for a triple flank over towards mid. None of it's really been working. I think that the triple flank through mid was the closest to finding success. Getting that cascade onto the turret, but do you really want to go for something like that again? Here, they can rely on Trent using the Hunter's Fury, but Com is going to look for a pick at the start of the round. He does this almost every time he has this overall. Drones, if the drone gets attacked, he insta-ults. But this time, everybody from G2 respecting that drone, knowing what's coming.
No dice. Heavy stack though from G2.
And disguised
Players.
as well, because they didn't see anything with the drone.
Completely dodged it. Leaf. Oh, slight awareness there, just in time. Brings down Tex. Still that ult. Will find a target into the corner of the site. Still evading that one for Valen. Nano Swarms causing some issues. Vulnerability as well as that. Aspas forced to retreat, and a call to pivot is made. Jonah P. Surely going to be hearing some of this one now and expecting at least some presence. But does he know where these players are coming from? Getting that game of timing.
Yeah, both so quiet here, the Vipers.
Footsteps though, heavy presence by Mazzino, running his way along. He's going to be confident making the call, but doesn't know if they've already at least got themselves around. Vulnerability applied by the snake bite, forcing at least him off the spike plant.
Com and King could both win the round independently here.
Comes down to it.
Mazzino's got no help.
Learns Mazzino, he still can't get this plant down. King finds it, plucks him out, but the Hunter's Fury will follow it anyway.
Unusual position for someone to get caught by that, and look at this. Com going for the same flank he just went on again.
Just flanks on flanks, Com.
The school of always be flanking.
Exactly, this time switching it up here, but Mazzino already rips away the life of Leaf. Trent follows it up onto Aspas, still 2v2, damage done. Wingman defusing, they can free up their guns now, they can watch this one in a different direction, and Com forced to reveal himself. Dart, it's there. Still the onus being onto G2, but for now, Com is not on the position, and Icy knows it, sticking it.
Great awareness there from Icy, knowing that Com couldn't stop that from happening.
Last round.
5 to 6, doesn't even opt into the duel, doesn't give Com any chance of clearing it. That round, though, could have been super different if Lev had just broken the wingman.
Yeah.
If those bullets had landed on the little bro, Com could have had a great chance there, because they really didn't know that he was coming from kitchen. This round got crazy.
It did.
Enemy remaining.
G2 weathered the storm, though. Doesn't matter how crazy it got. Got that round win.
And that's super important, because that breaks what would have been a 6-round win streak. And now Lev do something completely different. Almost looking like that pistol round play, I think it was, where they B-split.
Yep, same strategy it looks like being employed. It's going to be walls up in their face. A lot of footsteps. Don't have B main control. Ult's flying forwards. That's a thrash. Going to be getting that connection. Tex is blinded. It's going to be isolated here. Revealed up by this dart. Lev really looking like it might be falling to pieces, but Aspas is so aggressive already. They didn't expect him onto that kitchen angle. Blade Storm ripped out.
And this is the win condition for Leviathan. Get aggressive, get active with Aspas.
How do they find the rest of these kills? Jonah P just trying to play his life. The rest of G2 moving together. Thrash. Round 2 this time. King. A few shots fired. They know that he's under there, but how do they fight it out? Is he dealt with? Dropping down. Trade online. 3v3 still. They've got a lot more to clear than that. Wingman on the defuse. Has to be broken. Snake by Shotdown. What game are we watching? What game are they playing? Still gunplay in the works. Already got half, I believe, onto it. Aspas! Not enough with the Blade Storm pull. Trent shuts him down before he can really get going. And that finalizes it at 6 to 6 for the half.
Back and forth, just like Bind. Super close here between these two teams. A late resurgence there from G2 to be able to get 2 retakes towards the end. Otherwise, Lev were running away with things. They just couldn't quite find enough in this final moment. Look at this shock molly on the fly. It's so good.
Yeah.
Messino just has no clue that that was coming towards him.
Last player standing.
Very impressive.
Trent sitting at 17 to 6 right now. Leading it for his team as well. Hero moments paving the way to make it. Now, this best of 5 here to even stand a chance in the grand finals of our mid-season playoffs. And it begins, as always, Josh, with this pistol round win for Lev. Haven't really been able to get any of them.
No, that makes this one imperative. We need to see that they're capable of taking them away from G2. As G2 run this 1-3-1 default at the start. A little unusual on Icebox. Don't normally see mid-pressure at the very beginning from the attacking team. And on the other side of things, Aspas with a Sheriff pushing up. They used a cascade to try to get past somebody.
No dash.
No, Aspas, if he looks to try to take a peek, it would be a perfect time in the turret. Is faced away, but I think he's just gonna miss the timing. Oh,
yeah, he does. Can't see
now,
anything but getting critical information.
Yeah, but he can't really get past this turret at all, can he? So he just has to...
Well...
Can he?
Well, okay. I mean...
He can get deep, but he can't get much further than this.
I think he might be out of range, potentially.
No.
I'm not kidding. It's been pulled back. It's been pulled back anyway. Fox in the pen. This man could really just eat them alive. King seeking to delay. Distraction being called. Wingman plant. Surely not being stopped. Final bullet eventually does it. G2 seeming to win this one out, and Aspas now has to become that difference maker. Too many targets. He just can't quite land the shots. Full reload has to be committed. He has done the damage, but no kills collected. Lev finally turning up the heat. But it's answered right back at them. Doubled up. And Com falls.
An outrageous situation. G2, 6 out of 6 pistol rounds going in their direction. And what a one to showcase as the most recent of them.
I mean, Aspas in that spot. There's a world where he gets, he gets 5 or he gets none there. I mean, I don't know what he walked away with, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a round win.
He got so much damage out, though. Man. He's doing body shots, leg shots, and yet somehow Valen's Ghost comes out true at the end to be able to pick off Com, who had a couple of softened up targets ahead of him. This is worrying. I mean, if it wasn't already, it certainly is now. However, looking forwards, as Uber set up on the desk, the 2 upcoming maps of Lotus and Ascent, if there was a team to be able to win on both, I suppose it would be Leviathan.
Aspas doesn't overstay his welcome with that one, but risks need to be taken if Lev are going to stand a chance to try and win this. Oh, any punish in sight? Not quite. They're hot on the heels, though, of Aspas, and they are cleaning up these remaining players who are seeking to at least delay and anchor. Bullets. Just got to fire the tracers with that one. One gets caught out of spot.
G2 with an opportunity to reset, but nobody really posted over the other side of the map. Do they know that all three of these players are over towards here? They're just going to double up, triple up, make sure that they have a safe passage back over to the other side. And as I was saying, Brett, I think the next two maps coming up, if there was a team here, like Mimi was talking about, that is able to run it back from 2-1 down, I think I'll be looking towards LEV, even if G2 take this, because Lotus is not a map that G2 have been loving to play. And LEV, I think all of their players have just been amazing on Ascent in the past.
Yeah.
But they don't want to put themselves into that position, and certainly not if it comes because they just can't convert these pistol rounds and keep putting themselves at disadvantages in every quarter, every half.
The crazy thing is as well, even with them, despite losing all of the pistol rounds, they've still been able to take maps. They've still been making it close.
Yeah, take a map. And to be honest, Breeze, the first half was not particularly close, was it? At 9-3.
No, but this one much closer. On
Definitely.
Icebox, at least for now.
For now.
For now.
Lev, one of the things that I think they were doing really well on their defense side when we saw them play against Crew was find opportunities to take fights and disrupt the plant from happening.
Is Aspas going to be able to get some kills, or what? What's going on here? They didn't really want him to survive. Hello, Aspas. Good kills, actually. This is going to be doing some damage to the economy. Enough to stay alive, though. He's going to be saving that Sheriff into the next. So, the unintended side effect of it, but I think they're not going to be too worried about it.
Are they not?
Well, I don't know. Let's have a look at the money.
Yeah, it ain't good. You don't want to be surviving in that spot.
Yeah.
He popped his dash and didn't dash into them either. Like,
Nice try.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they're saying good job in that situation, but it's actually forced King onto a Guardian. They've swapped weapons so that Aspas can get a Vandal online.
And a heavy fight taken. Dizzy, he's going to be pre-fired here, but Aspas is going to be blinded up. Messino, that supportive element, just firing down and raining down the bullets at a Phantom, enough to bring down Leaf. Pushing them back, though, with Aspas falling.
Drone denied. Yeah. They've got to be very worried about these kind of positions. Super possible that Lev could have inserted another player over towards jail. This is going to tick time off the clock, but Mazzino is going to be so expected here.
Drone cleared. Mazzino already pushed up. Yeah, G2, we're just waiting for somebody to just walk right into the crosshair placement.
Yeah.
Texas time, apparently. Two shine, potentially, but he's missing the shots. Doubled up side by side, him and Com. Com's just trying to get him out of here. Still, bullet tags in play. Enough to slow down Trent, but a spike has been retrieved and now ferried back over towards B.
This round is the personification, if you want to put it like that, of individualism versus the team play. Lev just taking it in turns to take that hero play fight, while G2 shut them down. 3v3 though.
Down against the box, Wingman. Gonna be broken, bullets. Firing through, not enough to deny. G2 are getting least themselves into the post plan here. At least the advantage for Lev is that they do have some guns, but they've got to get a move on now. Icy realizing he's got no util to his name, so he might as well try and take the fight forward. It's caught by G2. They stand their ground here for Leviathan. Dismissed them as easily as that.
So 2 Vandals rather than the Guardian saved into this one, but that's a pretty devastating one for the economy of Lev. They only get 3,000 for being able to win this round, and they've lost a ton of weaponry. I think I consider that a great bonus for G2. I mean, let's take a look at what weaponry ends up being online here for Lev. And what this would be a great time for Leaf to bring out the Outlaw, I can tell you that.
It would, I don't think he's going to be doing it though.
A Spectre full armor onto Mazzino. I mean, these are pretty brutal weapons to be forced to use in this spot. But if they can win this, suddenly they have a cushion to work with.
They typically have been good in these gun rounds, even if it is slightly weaker. Nano Swarm. Pre-aimed and broken, so the turret will stay up.
And Leaf's got plenty of these lineups across a range of different maps to try to put pressure on their opponents. Killjoy utility placements.
Thrash available though.
Monster on the loose.
Set loose onto the side over towards A. Everybody giving this one up from the left side.
Comms in position to ult this.
He's playing relatively further back here. Wingman getting the plant down. Out and over. Dart.
Revealing area.
This plan coming down. Not going to be trying to flood back into this one, but finally with the ults now. Into the back of the side. Trent! Not able to get the one before he's eventually brought down. Everything offloaded now. Overwhelming. Seeing if they can try and fight this one. Thrash has to be respected though. It does pave a bit of a way and place for G2 to potentially win this one, but they're losing the gun duels. Slight tap from Mazino. Just Icy and Jonah P left though to really stave this one away, and guess what? Jonah P is nowhere near.
Player standing.
Slow as it goes here by LEV, but they realize they've got plenty of time now to just pick them apart. Tapping the spike, forcing the players out in the open. And it's a 1 round for them, 8-8. Everybody intact as well.
Very confident from LEV in terms of the way that they committed heavily on that flood defense. Despite the fact that the plant ended up going down, Wingman managed to dodge the first wave of Nana Swarm.
No more.
But as they push back in with the final burst of this Hunter's Fury, they got themselves into a great spot. Even Valen's Harbor couldn't slow them down.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of things I think that make LEV look good on this map. Their willingness to fight together and flood out through rafters, drop the Viper wall, take the timings and the aggression. It just needs a single person calling it, and they all commit. Those are the rounds that they were winning against Crew and what made them look good on this map. So they have stabilized. Like I was talking about, the eco was looking really rough for LEV, but they put themselves in a good spot now.
They're not hiding their intent, are they? Making a lot of noise up and over towards the A side. Com gonna let loose at least with a few straight bullets, but the positions are being at least found here from a few of these players. Jonah P finally claimed and taken out, but traded towards the back there by Com. He's doing a significant amount of damage to them, but leaves it into a 2-on-2 rifle. Advantage here for LEV, but it is being whittled down to just this. Aspas versus Trent. Any upgrade inside for Trent. He's going to be repositioning. Swap of the gun. No reload necessary for Aspas, but he's just trying to sniff out where Trent is, and he's lurked himself around the back. Missing each other. Ships in the night. Updraft. And now that spots it. Oh, Trent! He can't hit it. Can't claim it. Pistols out in play, but Aspas is the one to really save the day.
Completely whiffed opportunity there from Trent. He had Aspas dead to rights. Sometimes the movement, though, of this guy is impossible to hit.
Yeah.
Aspas wiggles like nobody else when it comes to his jet movement on this map. It really is masterful to watch, but you gotta look at this one and think it should have been G2's to win. They got a perfect A mid
It had
lurk.
to have been, man. It had
Trent
to have been.
almost had it there in the 1v1. He nailed the timing. Somehow Aspas saves them again, as he does so very often.
Keep up.
20 kills for both of those players that were left in the 1v1.
And now he's really starting to show up, isn't he?
Is this where we see Trent go for his own play with the ult at the start?
Tech's got to respect that one with the Nana Swarm, but not expecting it for Aspas here again. Never dash to disengage.
And instead of posting a player up into nest and letting the play come to them, Aspas forces the duel, kills LEV, who does normally play a little more aggressive on Killjoy over towards the A side. And now G2 are starting to drive things back over towards yellow, where King is posted up. They have Dizzy to clear this, and a recon will come back online.
Like you said, they should have the util to clear this spot out. The reposition of Mazino, punished in the moment, but not before he was rewarded with just the one. Dizzy has to be broken, indeed it is. King's still there, but the dart reveals it. And now his position quickly swarmed upon with a wingman to supplement all of it. Pick your targets and choose them wisely still. 3 versus 3.
It's nice.
Fury for Trent.
Yeah, it's nicely done there by G2 clearing out yellow, but now they need
To use it. He's trying to punish a drone that he heard from just the middle of the gut of the map, but he's not getting any tags.
That's a wild play to go for.
It really is. Just off of hearing the drone being used.
At the same time, though,
30
they
seconds
couldn't have
left.
done anything in that time period anyway, because they're waiting for Jonah P's fuel to come back up. They need that next cycle before they can commit to any kind of plant.
Aspas is ready to meet them head on. He's still got an updraft as well.
He's
High ground
definitely
position.
going for this updraft.
Yeah, enemy AC 130 about to kick off. As the wall's there, right round the side, hunting for them, picking them to pieces. Jonah P stands his ground. Few seconds left to spare, but not enough to win the round. It's lose Lost in the moment here for G2. Jonah P recognizing it, having to force that issue out to them. 2-round difference now between LEV and G2 as we're looking at Icebox.
And Aspas really is finding his moments so nicely to have impact. Tucking himself aggressively on A with backup from the rest of the team, finds that opener onto Leaf, and then he's able to get the updraft kill as well. Constantly denying those plant situations. And again, with this composition from G2, they have to commit so much of the Viper fuel just to clear out yellow if King plays heavy in that spot that they then can't plant in the same util cycle. So they need to wait and advise time for LEV to disrupt like this. King again looks like he wants to try to contest them. Burning utility out of them early. Very important for LEV to have advantages in the round. Drone used at this point means no drone to clear him out of yellow. These are all good things for the defense.
King just hears that drone, puts up the orb. Nerves potentially there. The back of these G2 players' heads. Now, putting themselves to a few ults. They're calling for a refight. Reckoning here. Snakebite dropped. Cove as well. Could this be punished, G2? With an opening onto King. A few bullets spraying him down and praying for Mazzino. Rewarded. High Tide cuts its way across here. Even with the drone and attack. Flank approach from Aspas is right there behind them, seeking to claim. There's any people here. Trying to jump spot. Thinks it's clear.
Yeah, he's missed it, but Aspas held back by the alarm bot.
As the wall fades down, so do the chances. G2, how have they got that?
In the midst of all the chaos, Aspas cloud bursted off
30
the
seconds
alarm bot,
left.
but now he's got to get past the turret.
And there seems to be that level of awareness. Leaf dropped, plant, down and online. The positioning now tucked its way across, updraft. Or at least a dash used to cut his way through and over, watching for the top position. They know he hasn't dropped off just yet.
He's not thinking about Trent.
Trent just holding for it. Holding for it. First signs of it. And a bullet straight to the brain once more. That's a G2 win in a very unlikely fashion.
LEV chose to use Harbor Alton to refight over towards B in an anti-eco. They chose to run forwards
I mean, that's
from
so
yellow.
risky, man.
It's crazy risky. I love the idea of going for this kind of play as a one-off on your defense side. But if you're going to pick any round, why not pick an important rifle round where they're not expecting it? Maybe they thought G2 were going to try to get into position to ult them in that spot, and they wanted to preempt it, but as soon as King went down, it looked real dodgy from then on. And now G2 can get into position. Thrash, Lockdown are all amazingly good ults from the spot that Aspas is watching towards right now. They're also usable from pipes over towards A, and that's a spot where Com is looking to take a fight. So both Com and Aspas trying to stop them getting into these positions where they would be looking to ult.
From this spot, seeing the one, deciding what the decision-making might be. Thrash, is he going to claim a target? Any available player that might be sitting there, but it just clears out the side. Making sure that they can take this one. Nana swarms. Seeking to delay again with the pit. It's going to be dropped down, and this creates some murky territory for LEV to try and fight their way on and through. King wants to take the battle straight to them. Lockdown, though, it's all being layered now by G2 to try and win this one out with the ults that they've got.
They need
and
to
respect
back.
has to be shown by LEV. They have to back, but they don't really have an exit strategy. Not for King at all. They already dropped down onto the site.
This has ticked a lot of time off the clock. Aspas is on the flank again, but I think he just broke turret.
Planted.
Hand down.
I think he's going to be too late here. This is so tough.
Cove up and over. Where's the pit? Still there. Active onto the side, but Texas brought himself around. Are they just trying to buy the time, like you said, for Aspas onto this flank? Potentially dropping down, seeing it and spotted though. Double up in the lower sections of rafters. And Leaf claiming all of these spots in position. I mean, Aspas forced to reveal himself there. It was an easy kill. He couldn't quite give it up. Dart through and around. Jonah P still wins that fight.
And if it wasn't lost already, it certainly is now for Leviathan. G2 with immaculate crossfire setups there, doubled up on the hell to ensure once more that teamwork prevails against that individuality. I also love the fact that Jonah P went for the pit that goes over towards screens. He noticed that Tex was one away from getting lockdown, and he wants to take screens away from the defenders so that they can't possibly get that ult online and go for it. The fact that Tex was one away means that now ults are starting to get online for Leviathan. The problem is, as we head towards the 11th hour here on Icebox, Leviathan have got to take an eco just as they get the ults online to win these big rounds.
Yep.
This is still anyone's game. And arguably, G2 are going to be at an advantage.
Which is crazy to say. I mean, okay, well, G2 winning these pistol rounds.
Ran away belt. This guy's actually just a KD8 player. Like,
Yeah,
how
no,
funny
he's
is
weird.
this?
Throwing it out, dishing it out.
Yeah, I mean, they're roasting Aspas there, I think. It forces him to go without armor, so they've got 2 hero rifles, really, in this round, backed up by a war chest of ults, as you put it. It's a weird one here.
I think this is an odd call to make. I really do. But here we go, into the round we go. 10 to 10. Anyone's game here towards Icebox, still 1-1 in a series. Couldn't get more parity.
Mazzino breaks drone. It might look weird that he's fighting this one aggressively, but he's just trying to make it look like there's more players here, trying to puff himself up.
It's a bluff. Mazzino could get overwhelmed at a moment's notice, but really does make it feel like you said there's multiple players there. The only real reason you'd be trying to contest a drone, surely, is if you're being supported by plenty more players. So
Exactly.
that's why it's caused, again, a bit of a pause into the play G2. This is nothing out of the ordinary for them. They love the slow play.
Yeah, and Lev would have been hoping that breaking that drone drove them into A, but it hasn't. They're going for the B-ring. What is that? The double kill?
I mean, he just lets the rifle rip, and it sings true. Connection onto 2 unlikely targets. Here, forward, start. It's going to be broken and backs away from it. He realizes it, that he's potentially made the defining play for the round. Wall up and through. Leaf. What is that?
The slow timing is absolutely killing G2 here. Lev can now unload that war chest we were talking about, and there's 20 seconds left.
The spike's got to be planted over here towards B. Hunter's Fury, I mean, maybe mistimed there by Com. A bit of a tap from Trent. Again, they've got to force these players out wide, but the Lev not really giving them anything at all. Tip-tap with the toes and the dancing around all these
10
possible
seconds left.
places. 9 seconds left, and with that, that's surely going to seal it.
Outrageous round. Absolutely ridiculous from Lev.
Let's go. I got things to do.
G2 read the macro situation perfectly. They put pressure over towards B at the start. They think there might be a stack there. They go for a re-clear. They have hit the weak side of Lev's defense, and Mazzino's ripped 2 heads off instantly. And at that point, the time is just too low. And that's where you see the double-edged sword of G2 playing these slower approaches. If they don't get the space they need when the time is low, it's so difficult to recover. We have Leaf buying a Vandal with no armor, and Aspas going forwards to look to try to challenge him.
It has the money available for it, but instead of just investing, maybe just carrying it into the next. It's a weird spot to be in. Real weird. Aspas. You can play forward here, at least with the drone, but how did G2 clear him? The answer is barely there, labored in the process. Aspas surprised that he didn't potentially get more.
Another hero play by Com, though. He uses the distraction to sneak into position. The drone doesn't even think to clear, I don't think. Surely no question mark there popping up. I don't think it quite had the line of sight, but Trent's going to clear it.
He's watching it. Might see the gun, might see the gun. He hops up onto it, but he was low enough. All it took was the one. Com is stuck here. Mosh pit. Forcing him back and away. Has to be the double face. Icy deals with it, but King
Spike
is
down
immediately
A.
there. Top section of pipes. He responds with the trade. 2 versus 3 here for G2. Now, slow and steady as it goes, they are forced into a difficult spot. Contact plays. And King, good awareness from him. He's going to drop down this pit. Locks it all out. Funnels them directly into Tex.
30 seconds
But
left.
Tex doesn't win it. Should have been a slam dunk for him. Covert. This will be a safe plant up. Now King, feeling like he really needs to take the fight to them. Reckoning is going to be forced out. Just to make sure that they get that peace of mind. It's going to be used equally on either side. Mazzino using it, but they can't quite spot these players. And where are the golden trails, King?
Last player
They both fall.
Harbor v Harbor.
Mazzino versus Valen. Cascade forwards. And again, how many of these rounds have come down to these minute timings? It's all about who takes the fight first. Valen, surely going to imagine it. He's got that advantage. Code needs to be bursted. And you can afford to stick this to a degree. Mazzino! Bit of more than he can chew. He will drop down and fall to the rifle in the hands of Valen. And it's 11 to 11. So much damn parity between these teams.
This was madness from the very beginning of this round. You know, Leaf not buying armor. Crazy plays coming out from Aspas and Com there, pushed up towards A. But Lev got themselves into a player advantage and let it slip away from them. There's 2 players now. Valen, coming alive here towards the end of Icebox, is almost matching Trent in terms of output. 22, 23 kills. On the other side, Aspas asked to do it all, but he's on the wrong side for this one.
Double up again comes Mazzino. I mean, surely can't deliver it once more. It's a drone and a wingman has to be broken. Will this cause some patience to be played, potentially by G2, with Jonah P not getting that one. And this entire time, LEV have taken liberties. Aspas, deep push with the Blade Stormy, but set up prior with that drone.
I mean, they're basically playing aggressive on all 3 lanes of the map, clearing out mid whilst fighting over both extremities.
They're trying to push these players into the sideline of Aspas. What about the turret? What? What? No way. When he's tagged up there.
He has to swing so wide to get an angle onto Jonah P. Just fearless from Aspas.
Now LEV should know it, surely. Ah, not broken. King was spotted out with that one. Tagged up. Gives Trent that easy kill. You can hear it though, the util being offloaded. Places it down. No plant in sight. Different spot for it. Locked down. It's going to be utilized here by LEV. They want to clear this one out and away. G2 though, they have to refight, and they know it. Forward to the right for spraying. All of them down. Mazzino. He hasn't been taken care of, but at least the lockdown has. And a 2v3. Aspas having that high ground position here, gliding forward. Surely they hear it with all of these sound cues, but it leaves it just down to him, the star player. Make something out of nothing. A magic moment is necessary in this positions of G2. They won't give them anything. Look at this, jumping around. He doesn't even know that Icy was there, ready to collect him.
Up to map point here, G2. 12 on the board. They had these opportunities earlier on, weren't quite able to do it on Bind. Closed out Breeze easily. And Leviathan are going to take a tactical timeout here as we head into round 24, the final of regulation. Looking to make something happen. It's a great opener from Aspas, it really is. But King got caught by the recon dart and B toppled. That's beautiful. Deconstruction of the high-low.
G2 just choosing to fight over that one as well.
Yeah, and I'm afraid to say for any LEV believers, G2 have a huge advantage when it comes to the ultimates as well.
Two though, they should have all the tools they need to convert and get this one over the line. One round will do it, but one round for LEV is all they need to get that extension in play, at least for this map.
I think they have to play aggressive here on the defense side. You can't just allow the Thrash to come through.
And so that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Fighting them forwards. Dizzy doesn't actually connect here, and a kill found. Aspas doesn't get out of there. Thrash, Hunter's Fury! It connects with the Mazzino. The Thrash will clear, give them that peace of mind. Calm. It's a high ground position, and he needs the value, but that double peak, there was an inevitable really there for him. Valen ripping the head clean off. Tex and King forced to do the most in this spot here, but with G2 in the post. I see you shaking your head, Josh. You already know it's done and dusted.
It certainly looks like it. Icy's even got that second wave of Thrash, but Tex opening things will certainly help. A little bit of spam there.
But like you said, it's the second wave of the Thrash. What have they even got to deal with this one? Moving forwards with the mosh pit. It's entertainment in the corner. There's nothing you can do here, King. You'd have to pull out a miracle. A lot of the util has been pulled out, but the time ticking away now with the spike. Kills unafforded. No easy access to them. Someone's gonna get on top of this one. Tex with a defuse. Sticking now. Half earned. But with King dropped.
No way.
Tex! No way!
That's outrageous!
Get the hell out of here!
Leviathan have just stolen this one away from G2. They had no right.
Cut the music. Cut the music. We're going into OT.
No right whatsoever to this. They didn't believe that this first tap was real. I think that's the big problem.
No way.
And somehow the jiggles from Tex dodged the bullets. It's not as stylish as Neo in the Matrix, but it gets the job done the same way.
It certainly does. I mean, it threw us all for a loop, I think, as well.
They just had no right taking that round. But listen, sometimes stuff like that, it does happen. We're here in OT.
Oh
and
my
G2,
God.
just like Bind, failed to convert with those map points, and we're headed to overtime.
G2 can't let the reflections of that map one just echo in your minds. Failing to close out that Bind map. Got to convert it here and now, but it's OT. Equal territory when it comes to just the money, the ults. even footing all throughout.
They might have just heard that drone through mid. One of the things that LEV did amazingly in OT on Bind was put in some contact plays, but instead they're going to drone, they're going to high tide, keep this one safe. And with the nano swarms popped, now they can send in the plant, fairly safely.
G2 didn't have anything for this one. Vulnerability applied to Com.
Yeah,
Any more utils? Shockey's missing.
Yeah.
G2 not choosing to opt into a bit of a flood defense, instead just waiting it out.
But getting aggressive with their positioning. And this, I think, is the key.
Making sure that they can fight them. Dizzy getting that connection onto at least the two of the players, missing the shots. Comes down to these fights and how you take them together. G2 making sure that they just try and fight this one here, but Valen gets caught just a slight off angle, not aware of the top nest position. 1v2. It's Jonah P. Wants to try and clutch this one up with the Utah flying forwards in his face.
Nowhere
was
near.
shy of the mark for Jonah P. He's forced to stick it to have any chance of winning.
Tex with the play that matters in that
Switching
round.
sides.
Yeah, missed Nanoswarm towards the
Match
end, but it's his lurk down mid that saved Leviathan in that spot. I can't believe how similar this feels to Bind.
I mean, it can't be happening again, man.
But G2 were also winning almost all of these duels on the fight back in. Aspas found nothing in an aggressive position. The rest of the team got bowled over, and Tex, the timing could not have been more perfect for him to come down mid and put his team up to 13. They now have the map point, Leviathan.
It's the 26th round here. Just as you mentioned, Josh, Leviathan on them. Map point to get them that edge in the series. 2-1 in the best of 5 would be fantastic for them.
Valen does not want to go quietly here.
Not quite at all. Trying to not make a repeat of what happened on to Binds. No easy kills. Given over to Vizino. Tagged up by the drone. He's forced to evacuate and back away, but there's a heavy presence from Lev. They're stacking this one. Numerous bodies. Be a tall tale for G2 if they want to try and even take this one, but the alarm bot broken. They know that someone's playing close here. Rapid pings from either side.
I mean, look at the gamble from LEV. They're just stacking all of their players to the A defense. Now, doubts start to creep into their mind. Could there have been some kind of B lure? But I think that recon just got broken. I believe Com sent the recon, and as soon as it got snapped off, LEV are now
Pulls them back.
yeah, thinking about this being a re-hit for sure.
They've got the right stack. It could just come down to the guns again.
And this is where G2's slow play does tend to hurt them.
35 seconds. If Com even gets 1 or 2 in this spot right here, could just win the round and win the map. The util's broken. Dizzy dealt with. Still forward! Com sprays down 2 of them as easily as that. With the wingman sent forwards, flying forwards. King, he deals with it with deft hands still. Tex is there. Reset of the aim. 1v1! And another map stolen away!
Calculated. My ultimate is ready. I knew it would all.
I struggle to know what expectations really are because, again, G2 could have won all 3 of the maps. I think the desk is completely correct. This could be a 3-0. We could be going home right now.
Absolutely.
And G2 could be in the finals. So
They got to toss it to the side.
Yeah, does G2 take that as, you know, we clearly have what it takes to win, or do they take that as today isn't our day? You know, there's multiple ways of interpreting the same situation.
Can't let the despair win though. Up, contacting. Nadal rebound, back towards the pillar. Tex has to respect this one, but King, maybe not so much. Might have different ideas of things, but inside the smoke, just making sure that he dominates this position. Holds it for his team. Eventually this will fade away, and he does have to back up.
And previously, we were talking about LEV needing to win at least 1 pistol, but actually now it feels like G2 need to keep the streak going.
It's been a major advantage for them. At least get themselves into the plan. Snakebite is good. Paranoia sweeps its way through and does get onto 3 of the players. Valen, that was through the smoke. Seeking to fight this one. 2 for Nails. How the fight's going over towards Waterfall. Mazzino just holding it down, but did not expect Icy to be pushed up back onto that line of side angle.
Well, it's another one for G2 by the look of things. Yeah. Common Tex have got it all to do here. They're
Really?
picking up Icy, and there's still time to contest.
But it is running short. Running their way through. Yeah, I mean, when it gets ticking like this, give it up.
It's almost impossible, isn't it?
Remaining.
So the pistol round here for G2. Par for the course.
All right.
Even for the thieves of Leviathan who've stolen away 2 of the maps so far,
Yeah.
they can't steal a pistol round that gets that low on time.
I mean, if we're going to be following the narrative, the script that we've drawn out, Was it like a OT win for Lev on this map? After losing both pistols?
Yeah. And G2, that is 7 out of 7 pistol rounds so far in the series. And they're down 2-1. I mean, how are we here? But this is fantastic beginnings for them on Lotus. This is the kind of setup you would like to see. 2 players going into this one with pistols. Very flexible buy. But normally you're getting rifles up here and bulldogs. This is 2 bulldogs and a stinger.
A stinger.
It's not quite as good as usual.
Not too much punch. But again, open access to this C bomb site. So get a plan down. Open for mound control as well. But not necessarily having the guns if they want to just try and take a spam fight.
Yeah, gotta be honest, I don't understand what that smoke is from Mazzino, but we'll see if he runs it in a couple of future rounds, and maybe we'll see. The G2 here should be looking to try to build up some of these ults, loading stuff into Dicey. They shouldn't be too worried to lose a couple of people, because there were a few that had only brought pistols into the round.
The door gets open wide as well. Second wave of that. Flying forwards with the util.
And okay, these kills not loaded into Icy, but clean. They're not going to have a massive ult to be able to use on the bonus round, but LEV doing that deliberately. They've still got the 3 weapons that they brought into the round. Not that the Stinger's that great. I mean, really the point of buys like that is to try to keep double bulldog, rifle, you know, a Vandal, something like that in, but didn't have the cash for it. Does G2 have a non-ult-based bonus round here? I feel like I've seen some that ended over towards B pretty heavily. You know, especially if you're going to be getting Stinger online, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Try and get value out of it.
Those 2 players that only took a rifle, only took a pistol in the previous round can buy up rifles here, so it's still going to look really good. Triple Bulldog, Stinger, and a rifle on Jonah P. And this is where LEV need to stop the momentum from happening. You do not want to allow these G2 players to win this round, get themselves out to a big lead, and start getting ults online. So they're going to fight over mound control whilst also contacting up towards rubble. This is unusual.
Oh, spotting a jump spot, I believe, from King. Yep. And the wall's thin enough that eventually the bullets through the wall do the job for him. Snake bite, cover the retreat. Good opening kill.
And now this is going to make them think that maybe that mound pressure was fake. And they can go and contact re-clear that, perhaps? Because if 2 players were pushing up on A, surely they weren't also fighting over C. And Mazzino is still there. Just jiggling for information, not going to look to try to take the fight.
Where did G2 want to land? That's the question. Trent. With the spike going to be making his way back over towards A. Jonah P is very much isolated and alone. Might be looking for some opening for his team to pivot into B.
Yeah, they could totally end B here. Break that door, put a little bit of pressure over towards A, open the revolving door, and especially now.
Okay. That's a great opener.
30 seconds
Now,
left.
that door might just be broken through. Indeed it is. Straight into the B hit. Narrowly avoiding most of that Killjoy util too. With about 20 seconds to spare, getting the plant down.
Spike planted.
Mazzino still has Paranoia here. And you can open up this revolving door between B and C, Paranoia through, put a lot of pressure onto Jonah.
Jonah.
He's just cycling that.
Right, door opens.
No flash used.
Nobody can clearing this? Eventually there. Okay, Mazzino. It's good awareness. The C's though does land. TP to disjointed, at least disconnected. Tex going walkabouts. Trying to put at least a few of these players down that are just holding the ground down into the post. Doubled up now, calling a fight together. G2. There's no hesitancy with the way that they're playing that one. King, tap. Forced to break it. They know he's not sticking it.
What a beginning for G2 again. Icy coming out with a crucial double and a great call to take the fight to LEV there. I think mostly what we've seen is G2 hanging back in post plants and waiting for the fight to come to them, playing a lot of post plant utility if you cast your mind all the way back to Bind. But here, Jonah on the aggro lurk, and then Icy swinging aggressive. Gets the double lineup there. As one of Mazzino or Aspas probably should have gone for a little bit of a wider swing. And this now, truly, disaster beginning to the map for LEV. Of course, they've got the buffer of being a map up here in the series. And now, G2 with eco advantage, and here the ult starts spiraling too, because Icy's only 1 away from showstopper.
Really should start running away from it. Or running away with it, at least the map pick.
Lev are going to look
Lotus.
to play proactively on the opposite side of the map, anticipating Icy to be playing for Alt Orb, or perhaps G2 just to be playing for Rubble.
These players get cleared, right? Nade rebounds, Satchel as well. Yeah, pretty standard clear here.
They're very solid. King's going to try to work his way forwards to this smoke and see if he can put some pressure on G2, but these are normally the rounds, or the times in the round rather, where G2 called the pause, and King notices that, finds a peek and grabs Icy.
Okay, gets out as well. Timing's being caught and captured. The players are dropping in. It's a 2 versus 2 with a spike in the middle of nowhere. King, 13 health, has to back away, thinking the position was at least going to be pressured and pushed back. Jonah P still watchful, one eye on it. The timing taken through this smoke could be everything, but it looks like King not really interested in it. Sheriff in hand! And a bit of whiffage from Valen, it is everything. It hands over the rifle and puts all the pressure now onto Jonah P. Yes, the plant is down.
It actually didn't hand over the rifle. Mazzino didn't go for it.
Assuming maybe that it was already doubled up. Jonah P, snappy, not expecting it, but Mazzino just reveals himself and hands it for Jonah P. A 1v2 in that spot.
Great play towards the end there from Jonah. Saves his team and allows that snowball to continue. That could have been Lev's chance of getting back into this one real early on. Mazzino's kill onto Valen, I feel like really should have been the turning point in this round.
Yeah, but no gun gained.
And they just didn't know where Jonah was. You're dead right with your analysis of that situation. A bit of disappointment on the face of Goket, but this is going to be a rubble fight, trying to take space away from G2.
This one could flip easily. Horn has to be broken here. Valen TPing back. Trying to play this one with the rest of his team. Mazzino up onto the high ground. A pivot is called by G2. So fast on the retreat. Look at this. All 5 of them grouped up together. They want nothing to do with the A rubble fight, even though they've got ults. Good enough at least to clear this.
And I mean, you see Tex instantly take his way out of C. He knows that there's about to be a showstopper in his face, but there's nothing he can really do about it.
I see.
The only goal here for Tex defending is LEV.
There's no way he gets anything there. I mean, no damage done, no kill here either. Flood attempt potentially caught by Lev. Lockdown has to be used. Now that the util's flying forward, screening into the site. Still might look to try and fight. Icy tucks himself inside the orb. Posture in a position here for Lev, knowing that Mazzino, really somebody was going to be seeking to reposition and maybe survive those final moments. But 2 players detained. It's slowed down even further by Lev on the retake.
2
Nano swarms.
That's a brutal mistake from Leviathan. And they're just going to have to save off the back of that.
They have to save.
If those 2 players had avoided being detained there, they actually could have committed to it, hoped that Aspas could get a kill, use the showstopper to snowball things. I'm kind of confused how they managed to get 2 detained. That's just a lockdown that wasn't, you know, it's not like they were being pressured super heavily or anything. A weird one. But at least this does mean, in some weird way, that the silver lining of going down 0-5, Lev is still going to have a bye here. If they had committed super heavily to that, then maybe that wouldn't be the case. Don't think that's an optimal position to be saving, though.
No, it's really not. I mean, we've seen some teams just go back into the saving simulator that is Lotus. They fail it.
Yeah.
Losing an opening player, you save 3 rifles, 4 rifles, whatever it is, and then...
Not just that. It's not just that they have a chance. They have to convert here, Lev. Because otherwise their economy is going to be in shambles, and they're probably going to invest their ults in this round. And if those go, this is their chance to turn it. The ult economy is going to be out of control after this. Same reclear, perhaps. Mazzino doesn't invest that paranoia this time. But Valen was thinking about it, so he TP'd back.
Yeah.
And now they contact forwards, thinking, all right, well, they're not going to go for their rubble reclear strategy, so we'll take the space, thank you.
The door's opened wide. Puts a bit of fear into G2. Gonna have to hold this one with a few rifles. Snakebite clear the close corner. Nobody playing there. Con with a jiggle as well. Orb in his face. They're hearing these footsteps. King, this is risky paranoia. Sweeps through, and now the fight is called here, at least by them. Lev, they want to try and collapse onto these players. That was the signal they were looking for. Tex gets acknowledgement at least that his position is being pushed here by Leaf, but the rest of his team, G2, still sticking around towards A, but not for much longer. Backing away now.
How do Lev get this information? It's just Com face checking. Doesn't use any utility, and Com's just potentially won the round for them there with that little peek up. He knows that Rubble's clear, all of that smoke pressure was fake, and Lev instant rotating over towards C, helping Tex out. And there's no big ults here to
30
rip
seconds
C
left.
away. They should be able to hold.
Heavy stack, Aspas is already there, laying in wait. Alfred the back, and Nana Swarm shouldn't be winning that fight out, but eventually it's going to be tearing into pieces, just trying to get themselves a foothold in and through. Trent wins that fight. Aspas still one away from this ult, but time running short as well. All he needs is the one. Can't quite get it. It's instead King the IGL. Pushing them back and away with the satchels, damage. Bullets flying forwards along with the util. Very little chances. So, like you said, Josh, I mean, you really distilled it down to just that. Getting that perfect mid-round information, calling for the whole of Leviathan to get that heavy stack over towards C, knowing it was going to pivot there.
And taking the risk, right? It is a risk to jump your head up like that. Like a prairie dog that just pops out of his hole to see what's happening.
Remaining.
Yeah, rewarded massively. And this is the best case scenario for Leviathan here. They were 5-0 down, they take the tack time out, and they win the round without even using ults. So now Aspas still has his. Com is still going to be getting up to a nightfall. The ults are just so important on Lotus.
Deciding factor that we talk about all the time when we're watching these teams play.
And G2, they're very reluctant to scale after taking rubble control because they're worried about that re-clear. But this time, it's Aspas opening the door, around mound, then clearing turret. Being very active early on here, Lev. While G2 are hesitant themselves because they're worried about what Mazzino could do.
Paranoia, I think, being set up here in the hands of Mazzino. Potential for the fight as soon as someone takes contact.
What?
And how the hell does he get his head ripped off there? Mazzino doesn't let it loose, not with the paranoia, not with the flash to try and re-peek and fight this one, despite the players being in position, but maybe now is the time to strike. Sends it flying forwards, near-sighted! Doesn't matter for Jonah P. If you're going to take the fight like that.
Poison's off.
It feels like Aspas and Tex are still around this front B main area though, so G2 might not want to commit to B this easily. They don't actually have info in that many places around the map. But from what we can see, they're in a great position to just win.
Horn has to be broken.
30 seconds left.
Leaf is going to be aware of this one. Tucking himself tight to the corner. G2, where are you ending? I mean, time becoming a bit of a problem here when Aspas is in position still with this. Leaf, though, tucks it away! No way! Aspas! He's in a 1v2. Satchel to evacuate and around, but Aspas has got the read immediately. Double satchel plays. Rocket flying forwards just to clear the corner, expecting that Heaven was already howled and found on it already. Just trying to take the timing as the plan was going down. G2. Oh, he goes frantic in the round, man. It really comes down to it. Minutia in the moments.
Yeah, a rough one. Certainly looked like Aspas could have made the game-winning play there as he pulled his showstopper out. That kill by Trent is ridiculous. And then King tries to follow up off the back of the paranoia and runs into a player that's nearsighted. It's very bold what they're doing with King and Mazzino over towards A. Do you remember they played to deny the ult orb in the prior round as well?
Yeah, just
going
trying
off the
to
back
fight.
of the paranoia. The paranoia is not good enough there to guarantee that King takes good fights. So they're very much taking risks. And those risks not rewarded just yet. Lev dropped down onto another eco, and they haven't found the value out of the ults that they've been looking to build up. I mean, in fact, it's only Aspas that's even been able to use a single ult.
Okay, you're on a half-by round, but Com commits the Nightfall anyway. Wants to try and get the information. There's no tags, no trails. So they know this is going to be committed, but you don't have weapons. It feels odd.
Coming back.
Overextending your hand, using the resources, not thinking long-term with this map so far.
And even if the Nightfall...
Whoa, okay,
Wait a second.
I mean, it goes back and forth, at least with the guns in their hands. But still, the pit hasn't been dislodged. Still, Mazzino taking the fight! And that is explosive. Erupting into the back of the site, making sure that he can pave the way to at least a chance of success in the pit. Aspas is creeping forward slowly. Jonah P lets it drop down now, but his position is known. Noted. Snakebite rebounds round. Mazzino! What a time to come alive. What a playmaker. Doesn't expect the position of Valen, though. Takes him out there, bullet to the side. Maybe seeing both of these players just drop to the side. King using his ult, but he's out wide in the open. Way ahead of it before it even blooms and blossoms, and Valen has been handed the perfect chance and opportunity. But Aspas...
Has he got it?
I don't know.
He does.
Time ticking away. I believe the set was stringing beforehand. So Aspas, man, on fire to salvage the operation. All that heavy lifting that Mazzino was doing, not gone to waste.
Very unfortunate one there from Valen. If he peeked just a second later, was there a tap even from Aspas? There must have been to bait out the swing, but not one that I paid attention to. I thought Valen had that one absolutely wrapped. Perfect shot though towards the end. It couldn't have been better timed. Hero plays though, again, the individualism on display from Leviathan to carry them across. Mazzino and Aspas, they were both incredible last time these two teams faced on Lotus, and they've had to do it again.
Surely it doesn't take another record-breaking performance. LEV going to be absorbing this push. He hears them all running back one.
Sound bait.
Do you sound bait? Yes,
yeah,
it
to
is.
try to get them to walk into Aspas.
Hasn't left. Off-angle position. That's lovely. More than favored into the fight. Nightfall's going to be committed here. Probably sound cue is going to be cut away along with the trails. Tex going to be concerned with this one. There's going to be a Prowler just latching onto him from the side. So, cut away. Used in kind with the util. Paranoia sweeping through and around. Not aware of it, Jonah P. Almost making magic out of the moment. Professor in action, but eventually gone. 2v2 now. Nade rebounds. Got to be aware of this one. It could be that peak timings, and it all comes down to the fight. 1 versus 1. King cannot deliver.
Icy's been so good for them so far on Lotus, pulling out really important rounds. He's not lighting the scoreboard up, but he's delivering for them in crucial moments like that. A double kill prior. Conversion on the 1v1 there.
One enemy player standing.
A little labored from both of them towards the end. The G2 get it across the line, pull themselves up to 7-2. Another one where LEV, their economy's knocked down.
Money is awful. Again, reliant on Aspas, but maybe they can turn it with this one. A rubble fight that might go their way in the direction. It's an opening kill onto Trent.
Yeah, I think that was just a span through the smoke.
Not as good of a beginning as you could hope for.
Absolutely. And LEV have been trying to condition G2 to get scared over rubble. It hasn't worked that well.
Oof. The info's there.
Com close with the shorty. Aspas further back.
Yeah, with the rifle. Boombot's got to be broken. Here it is. They're trying to bait him and switch him up. No one taking it, though.
Worried about LEV going for that lurk over towards B. And now Aspas, he leaves.
Heavy posture. They're forcing these fights out wide into the open. Now King is really isolated into his position. If he can even take one of them away, maybe there's a chance. But with him falling, surely the chance is scattered to the winds. You two are going to be able to get this plant down. Not the most ideal post-plant scenario. Still, keep the rifles out. Door opened up. Hello! Seen something like that before. Mazzino. This guy just seems to just be creating blessings out of thin air. And now the heat's being turned up. G2, got to be worried about this one. You're losing grip and reality of the round itself. It's not going your way. Valid, pressing forwards and around. Can win the fight out, can hit the shot. And Com,
get the
he sees to the fade. It's the only thing he can do. Ridiculous stuff by LEV.
It's just hero plays. You couldn't find a game that exemplifies the hero play versus tight team play more. LEV are just trying to make whatever they can work in these incredibly difficult spots.
That's ridiculous.
And like you alluded to, Brad, that is so similar to Mazzino's round on Icebox, where he's got absolutely no right winning a situation like that and just first bullet, second bullet, finding targets. And not only that, as soon as the haunt went into tree, Com was able actually to get into a spot where even his shorty would. It's like they're working at full capacity here, like all of the ideas and the team play is good, but they're still getting stuff stolen away from them.
Yeah, push to the limits, and the hero plays are just giving LEV a slight foothold. Double high-low. Zeno looking to peer past and around that smoke. G2 haven't been putting much emphasis over towards C. At the beginning of these rounds, it's mainly been, you know, for a bit of that rubble control, but...
Bren, this is a force-up in this round. This is not some kind of eco.
Yeah.
It's double stingers, but they don't care that Icy's only got a stinger. He's got the showstopper to open things up. This might be headed towards B, but they could open the door first to try to clear out Mazzino's position. If the Prowler catches... Oh, they just send it into B!
Yeah, they want to send it. Okay. Nobody going to be holding close then. No casualties. Prowler not going to be dealt with here. So IC's going to be cut away from all signs of life, though, and a rocket. A gamble that pays off. And the price is blood.
And they take down Mazzino, who's been a menace for them recently. And that lockdown
That's
should not
perfect.
survive.
Yeah, that is a very aggressive lockdown. Lev misplacing some of these critical ults that they were going to try and use to retake. Aspas still has the rocket available, one of his own.
He has to go for it here, and they know. That's why they're inside the smoke, ready to fight.
Trying to find him forwards here as he's satcheling! Aspas! 2 down and dropped. And now maybe it's a path to victory. To seize and an Anastorm. All going to be overlaid and overlapped here. Not taking their time with this one, but ticking
So
away.
little time.
Yeah, very little time. Com has to stick this one, has to defend it. Has to defend it! And Lev deliver.
What were G2 waiting for there on the attempt to try to fight that one back?
It's the snake bite, I guess, stopping them. It's
Yeah, they gave so much space though to them pushing forwards, and then got caught by the snake bite. Not trying to really apply pressure, but yeah, this showstopper does work, of course. But Aspas is against 2 players who are trying to counter him, who are running forwards with double stinger, trying to put bullets into him before he can press the button to detonate that rocket. Still managed to get 2.
last round of the first half of Lotus. And Lev are on the verge, really, of making this more than a good round. TP's forwards as well. They're trying to seek to take control of this one. Mazzino dropped up in their faces. Aspas will not be able to get out of there.
And now, with Aspas gone, no counter for the lockdown. Com's going to try it, though.
Liv's going to try and go for this one. It's only a box, really, that stands between him and a few of these bullets. King taking a peek. Nobody watching for that angle. Should get detained, surely. You think and imagine.
He's got to get out. Uh-oh.
He's not out. In fact, he's going to be TP'd upon. So there's a player. No defense in sight there for King.
Cover going out.
And there should be G2 getting up to 8. Lighter weaponry, but all the options to play post-plant setups. Not a great plant.
Not a great plan and not great health either. So there are still chances for Lev. But when they win that one out, suddenly those chances fall into the wayside here. Com is left into a real impossible task. It's a 1v3 and Waterfall control already gained and gathered. So an 8-4 finish for G2.
I think you could consider that the most standard attack side, number that we tend to get to is about 8. But I don't know what to think about this, and I'd love to hear your opinion too, but is 4 enough when they haven't been winning pistol? I just don't know.
Yeah, that's a real difficult ask. If you think about it, assuming the trends continue, 10-4 to the finish.
Maybe that's the problem, assuming that the trend would continue. Isn't it already an outlier that they've won 7 out of 7?
Yeah, we'll see how Lev end up tackling that one onto the pistol themselves. But G2 are really on the verge here of continuing this.
Carry power so far on Lotus, from what we've seen, it's been more to do with Mazzino finding those big moments.
Let's see how this clash opens up here for the pistol round. Already highlighted it. So damn important, but is it going to be following the trend?
Look at this, creeping all the way up on the jiggle peak.
And a punish inside, a punish inside! Squandered!
I mean, Tex is going to be jeered at by the other side there, but he had a great idea. They just can't win on these pistol rounds, man. Lev have got an uphill battle now again. They haven't won one of them in the series so far, and now they have to convert a 4v5.
A lot of respect, though, showcased by G2, this positioning here. Just anticipating they're going to contact all the way up. Paranoia. Good connection, at least, onto the 2 players. Enough to stop them and enough for the refight to be called, but they might just be getting bitten through into the side. Satchel. Icy has to evacuate and back his position. It's being noted and found out, picked apart and pulled apart. Out towards the back of that side. Lev, in the midst of all of this one, have found themselves an advantage. King with the plant now as well, into the back of the side. A right click from Leaf, reload. Plenty of time, but eventually with the punish. Jonah P dropping down. You know exactly where he is. Finally, curse broken.
There could not have been a better time for it. If Lev want to look to close this series out right here and avoid us going to Ascent, the comeback had to start with that pistol round. And converting a 4v5 on top of it too. This looks like specific prep to me. We don't need to see each shot slowed.
God damn,
They won the pistol. They won the pistol. You don't have to do him like that. But yeah, that does look like specific anti to me. You can see Goked saying it as well. Hallelujah, we won a pistol.
And finally, the importance of that can't be underestimated.
Now just don't lose the follow-up.
Don't lose the follow-up. Prowler alerts them. They know that Leaf's there. Oh, seized and tethered and caught to the corner. It's easy pickoffs on the other side as well as that. Tex, it's not having a good game so far, at least on this half. Surely you're still committed to this one. You cannot let Jonah P get away with that, finally. Trade coming in just ever so slightly delayed. 2v3. Door opens up. Don't quite have the guns for the job to try and take these long-range fights. They've got to make this clean.
Yeah, they'd like to keep all three of these weapons into the next. And then King will be able to buy a fourth. But any damage now is going to be pretty permanent.
Oh, upgrade. King, though, surely gets that. What is occurring?
So individual the way that LEV are playing this post plant. They're not doubling up, not bodying up.
Nade. That's going to be catch on to Com. No way! The Sheriff is singing right now in the hands of Icy. And you're really going to be delivering a death blow like this. Mazzino twists and turns around and abound. This guy with only 5 bullets left. He's going to make the most of everything, but finds the timing.
Leviathan's savior there. He's been so good for them in this map. 18 kills already across 14 rounds. But he had to do way more than you should ask of him in that situation. The individual nature of how LEV are playing is hurting them as much as it's helping them at some
it really
points.
is.
You can't just be wandering forwards to take 1v1s against players with sheriffs like that. If you're down a player, or if you are the player with the eco disadvantage, sure, but come on. Got to be a bit tighter, LEV. They're going to take some rebel control. A bit of a delayed haunt there over the top from G2 as it lights up. Not comboed with any reclear strategy, though, and broken very quickly.
G2 willing to give them the space. Backs away to it. They know that the buy is going to be weaker here for LEV. Bit of a pre-fire, but Mazzino didn't have the gun for it.
He's just wandering in.
Yeah, I mean, he's all the way in. Look at this guy, Nade.
Like he got invited.
Ricocheting and rebounding forwards, pushing the players, backing out of the position. G2 pulling for a reclear of their own. Paranoia. Forwards again, it's close quarters in action. Paranoia's not going to do anything there.
Yeah, good trade, though.
Fight against the player.
Good trade. At least it was doubled up, right?
Jonah P onto this flank. Good movement and awareness, but the shot not landing here for King. Snake bites. Offloaded on either side. King finally maintaining that composure. 2v3. 2v3 becoming just down to the 1. Trent versus 2. Does have the rifle. Not planted for them. Worth saying, but with the door opened up, King's going to be taking the first contact on it. Acknowledgement with the body in the grave. So LEV stringing together these rounds when the buy was really rough there as well. It's worth saying.
Yeah, that wasn't some kind of big ult that got Leviathan through it there on the bonus. This is now, alarm bells should be ringing for G2. They can't afford to drop another map in this series. It would be them secured as the 3rd seed heading into Shanghai.
Yeah.
No opportunity to fight, to skip the group stage. And they tossed an 8-4 lead on split against 100 Thieves in the decider. Is that weighing in the back of their head? It feels quite similar, especially when you consider how snowbally Lotus can get. Aspas is 1 away, and this ult orb is going to get it online. I don't think he's going to want to invest it here unless the round gets a little sticky, but something G2 are going to have to consider in the next. It's just so difficult to defend this map.
It is. You can try and proactively fight as well, with the door opening up, maybe hearing the orbs being tapped and cook up trap plays, but teams on the attack side have gotten so good. Narrowly avoiding anything. Not that G2 are even doing anything like that. They're just holding, anchoring players. Jonah P's hoping and praying that he can get away with just a snake bite sent flying and forwards. A splash movement. A little bit whiffy, but eventually getting that kill.
2 players hiding in smokes here.
Fallon holding some util too. It's a flash and a nade. Rebounds. Calm. He can't see anything here. Should just get blown up. Kills. Flowing in this time. It's a kill feed that's filled up entirely with green. Rocket offloaded against the back wall and misses wide to all of it.
Tragedy from Icy. And relieved smiles on the faces of the Leviathan players. G2 with the flood defend. no weapons, but still made a great go of it, hitting great shots.
Yeah.
Leaf with, I think, a double in that situation. It should have been converted, I think. Especially when Icy pops the ult, but he beefed the movement, bonked his head, and then missed the box.
Couldn't hit it, and straight past him.
All he has to do there is hit the box, and Mazzino's gone. Look at him.
Yeah, and I can't fault using the ults in that scenario. I really can't when they get into that spot, but it's left them in a real difficult spot. It's only Leaf who's one away to the lockdown to be able to use, but Aspas still holding on to a showstopper. Didn't have to use it in the prior round.
And that's why they were trying to play a little more aggressive towards C. They're going to try and set up a high-low here, G2. Right, so they've got a couple players looking down these C angles in case Aspas goes for the showstopper, but now Icy's starting to drift away. This is their game plan to try to counter the showstopper. Icy needs to be in position as soon as the hit comes through.
He's not looking his way. Different direction.
No.
Nade's going to be here. Rebounding, along with the horns. Full cacophony of util, all going to be expended. Aspas still holding it with the rocket. No one's going to be giving him anything at all.
The util is just so good for Lev to push these G2 players back. All of the space taken.
I'll say, Nightfall went out, didn't actually get any connection, so...
My ultimate is ready.
G2 don't have to worry about that ult now when they're playing for this retake.
But also, Lev don't have to worry about the flood defend, and the paranoia used so much earlier just to clear out space that was gained by the Nightfall.
And that pulls out the pit. We're going to have that one to work through. Act as a bit of a buffer now as the retake starts to come through. G2 are here. A few bullets will do it. Come. Not much more than that one. Still ripping them away to Aspas. Just spraying them all down here. 2 left to stand this one, and G2 forced to make the decision now. It's a tough one at that. Full save. Back away. Keep the rifles into the next.
G2 are trying to come up with answers. You saw them there, attempting to concoct some kind of idea of how to counter the showstopper. The Levs, you know, as much as the defenders come up with ideas to counter, there are better ways of playing the attack as well. And Lev are doing a great job. It's not just as simple as trebuchet Aspas in with a showstopper. They throw really good utility to, you know, paranoia, seize util, that kind of stuff, to clear away any defender's positions. And then they nightfall on top of it so that G2 can't go for the flood defend that nearly worked in round 16. Lev are one step ahead here, and that's what's allowed them to get 5 rounds in a row. Once more, this was the decider map last time these two teams faced, and Lev, they ran away with it. It was big plays from Mazzino and Aspas, both of the players at the top of the scoreboard, especially Mazzino, who just seems to have this as his playground.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, Lotus hallowed ground, I think, as well, with the stuff that Aspas has been doing on it. Thinking back to him almost breaking kill records. Even break them, actually, but... Lev not dissuaded away from this A rubble area.
No, it's the same setup from G2. They're running a passive Killjoy Viper setup over towards A, not looking to try to contest rubble. And I think probably lockdown retake over towards Heaven. Possibly at stairs, but I think Leaf would find it difficult to get into that position.
Yeah, and Leaf's not going to be taking any more peeks out towards this. G2, the way that they play, they do give up an awful lot of map control. All that util that was saved, regenerated. Lev can send it forwards now with a Prowler as well, knowing the tree is cleared. Yeah, I'm finding it difficult to get through, though. Jonah P, he's got an orb up. Isolates up the site, and it does force Lev now into this B area. Icy, see how many util to delay, at least with the nade. Push them back for but a moment. Lev finding it difficult to get any sort of foothold or any sort of sight.
Leaf could just rip the lockdown here.
Yep, and with 26 seconds to go already, decision is going to be made. Lockdown emanating out. No kill to be found out towards tree, but the trade is on intact and on point. Lev still trying to fight over this one. The players are going to get detained. They are way overstaying their welcome. And there's a detainment. 2 locked down. They have to be defended from these tree players still. In the middle of all of it, they get the plant down into the post. And somehow no one else falling. Boom, but the paranoia a little bit too low for it. Tap onto it by Icy. King holds his ground down. What a shot to hit. Icy, half onto it already. Onto the defuse. Nightfall forwards. No more sound cues. And you have to play this one forward. Mazzino. Icy.
He got it!
No way.
He got the defuse before Mazzino was able to get it.
Absolutely absurd stuff, man.
I thought we were going to see there Mazzino coming out with another hero play to save Lev. He's had so many of them already on Lotus. but the kill just came through a fraction of a second too late. Unbelievable spray transfer onto Trent and Icy, but look at this.
One enemy remaining.
That's just a half being gathered. I mean, listen, not sure why it says Icy at the top, but it was Valorant who stuck it in the end. It was Icy that did all the work.
Yeah, and look, even King himself thought that they'd won that round.
Shadows travel.
Hard fight here by G2. They did win the round, but at the cost of the economy, taking a tumble. They want to fight this one. Hard out towards Mount as a Paranoia. Flash play as well. Mazino seeking to contain. Lit up though.
He survives. He
Somehow gets out. I mean, there's contention happening all over the bloody map.
Yeah, King was just trying to make a low play happen on the opposite side, knowing that 3 players were committed to the C fight. And now calling to try to hit in, but this A site is not actually that weak.
No, door opens. No one taking tree control with a nanoswarm delaying. Com's alone. Com is alone. The Bucky misses. Could have been a difference maker. Really could have. Jonah P. Still with it. Revealed though. Now the C's connects him into the back of the side. Actually didn't even connect, but still will be cleaned up. Aspas. Low on HP, but not on the confidence. Wants to take it straight towards the back of the site, but Stairs being reforward in the process. G2 going for it again. The nade rebounds. Dealing with him. The adversary taken out. Star player no longer a threat. It's up to G2 now to try and find the right moment. Jiggle. Pushed out wide left. Keeping it contained and isolating these fights nicely. Nightfall was earned and now going to be committed. It should be the nail in the coffin.
Ensuring that this one gets across the line. Nanoswarm's onto the spike as well. Trent can't hear anything. No chance of winning this.
Yeah, no chance.
Good close out there from Lev when things got sticky. It required different people to step up. Had no Mazino to bail them out of that situation, and Com made sure that things were clean. That was G2 forced onto an eco after winning the round as well. Cannot feel good to allow your opponents to take the lead in that kind of way.
Sleep. They're all dead.
Ian, the 2. You know who it is, baby. You know who it is. Let's go, guys.
Pit here for Jonah. He's the only player defending C. If Leviathan decide to accelerate, maybe he could get overwhelmed.
Doesn't choose to use it.
Gets reinforcements, gets an alarm bot.
Yeah, okay.
And now this looks like a fairly good defensive setup here for G2. No big ults to disrupt the plan anyway. What have Lev got in store for us? Moving into a B hit.
Exactly as you were saying though, Josh. No ults to work with for Lev. How do you keep this momentum going, propelling yourself forwards? And speaking of it, Aspas sends himself right into the maw there. Valen eager to contain, eager to shut him down.
That was really nice. Viper wall goes up at the same time as the Paranoia, isolates and blinds onto Aspas.
Okay, not crushed by the door. Hydraulic press machine.
Would be wonderful to have our first Valorant door stuck moment. Alas.
Alas, not to be today. Re-clear called with the wall up now by Lev, sending that haunt flying forwards. Trent has got ahead of all of it here, but he can't quite land those shots. Just trailing the bullets away. Is he aware of it? Not quite, Mazino. Already crept forwards. Caught the timing ahead of them. It's chaos now in the camp of G2 as they're seeking to, if they can shore up the defensive, they don't really know where these players are actually going to be landing.
Left.
But the B side seems to be the goal. Icy still has an aid. Don't think there's any possible position where he could deny this one.
Spike planted.
Satchel first though. Door opens up, refight attempt by G2 and in through heaven! Everyone being down! Icy, Rocket, denied out from the one and done, but they cannot hold their ground. The discipline of G2 makes it nice and even now, 10-10 here on a defining map in the series of Lotus.
Showing us that they can win pretty comfortably as long as Lev don't have overpowering ults to be able to work with. Great protocol to deal with this entry. Like I said, blinded, Viper wall behind, and then Icy's so patient. This is what we're talking about with Icy. He's not necessarily a superstar duelist, but he's so tight with the rest of the team. He just secures them heaven control, waits, punishes the play, gets the showstopper, commits. Makes space for Valen to trade him out. 10-10. The eco is still a problem for G2. They've managed to scramble together a buy, though, with a Bulldog onto Jonah P. It's another passive hold over towards A, and Lev are just taking this space fairly freely. They're not really investing any util, it's just a single haunt. And they can get into position to use Tech's lockdown.
Leaf. He's been in that spot before. Side by side, gonna be here, and then Paranoia.
Here.
It would be an amazing round for Leaf to have an Odin, but he's not gone for it.
No. Split out here, at least with a Nana Swarm. A lot of damage done to Aspas. 39 health. They've been dropped down too. Door shut down in their faces. Has to be reopened again. Now for the lockdown to be committed. It will clear out the site. G2 have no plans, protocols in place to try and break this one.
Yeah, but everybody's going to be ready to go for a flood defend.
Cover going out.
And they're in position for it. Already a smoke pops up the one side. Lancel online, satchels through, past and beyond the nade. Sees, dodged and avoided. G2 are being delayed into this one. Waves of util sent forward. Stair position gained and granted. Aspas is taking risks when he's on such low HP. And a critical kill at that. Icy, fall and door open wide. But where is this plant even going for? He can stick this one again. Trent, half onto it. Wants to nice this one. Nanos one broken. Breaking! Another one! Stolen from the grips of these players, and Valin dishes away any chance of saving the guns into the next.
Am I wrong, or were all 5 players still alive there for Leviathan when the defuse came through? I'm pretty sure Valin just got 4 post-round kills. That was ridiculous. Aspas went for a lurk play up through stairs. Look at him on the minimap there. He's trying to wrap around heaven. He doesn't realize this was a flood. There was a big communication problem, I think, here for LEV. They had no realization of what the pace of G2's play was.
Josh,
I think an Odin would shred what LEV are doing over in that side of the map, but instead they look to be heading C. And there's a juicy ult orb here to be taken, and suddenly Valen's going to be staring down the wrong end of a rocket-propelled grenade. There really isn't a good end of a rocket-propelled grenade.
no, there's
though.
not, man. I mean, there's really not.
You don't want the rocket end either.
Leaf, though, opted into the Odin buy.
Yeah, and actually, I said that they were heading towards C. They got spooked. And now Aspas looking to try to pick up the A ult orb. This is where Leaf has the Odin. Aspas could get melted here.
Alarm bot down.
He's given it away, particular angle. Yeah, he has given it away. Any sort of tap as well. Nana Swarm forwards. Prowler taken care of. 30 seconds left. Worried that he'll slip through the net.
Again, Valin and Icy are playing over towards C. And this does seem to be a preset G2 anti-showstopper setup. I just don't understand how it's really going to work. Is the idea that Valin's supposed to paranoia Aspas as he goes in and then Icy gets the kill? That's the only thing I can think of here.
It's confusing, but vacuums up the orb. Aspas now. Satchel laid down along with the rocket. A paranoia miss! TB though, evacuation pushing forwards and back, and still shuts him down.
What an outplay!
Ridiculous stuff from Valin.
But they've still got the
30
sight.
seconds left.
Icy wasn't able to hold his ground and play off the back of his IGL's maneuver. This plant, though, it ain't great for LEV. G2 do not have that paranoia to be able to work with. Whoa, that is a... Was that pre-done damage already? I think,
Not too sure.
based on the spam.
Either way, it's getting precarious and dangerous for Com. Leaf worried about the flank now. Lay it down for the turret, but we know there's nothing off the sword still.
He got
Beam it
caught.
down, the players up top into the box. Com, he's definitely low enough. Now, and there's a snake bite right at the back of his feet. It's always the ones
Bad
you're not looking
plant.
for that don't get you in a bad plan. G2 up to 12.
Why are you playing Mound?
Inevitable.
How are you going to find success there playing Mound? That's 2 rounds in a row where the LEV post plant has no line of sight on the spike.
Yeah, it's falling to pieces in these final moments.
They are getting cooked here. Trent's shrugging like, what they doing? I
Yeah,
just
what
stuck.
are they doing? What
At
is
the
the
same
game
time,
like?
though, beautiful here from Valin. I was asking what the game plan was. The paranoia missed, and yet he still got the outplay with the TP, and still managed to get the kill on Aspas before being traded.
Placing
That
swarm grenade.
went about as perfectly as you could possibly ask for.
Placing swarm grenade.
LEV have got to shore up these post plants. Com can get his ult online, and maybe that can open up a site for them, but Tree's more difficult to get through now that Leaf has an Odin. And also, they just haven't been able to win when the spike is down.
They really haven't. And G2 now are sensing it, I think. There's a bit of fear, trepidation in the back of the minds of these LEV players, wondering I might get over the hurdle.
Now,
G2 have definitely struggled in the past in a few of these maps in this best of 5, but this is their best chance yet.
yeah, if this follows the theme of the rest of the series, though, LEV are somehow going to be able to win the next 4 rounds in a row and steal the map away. G2 have got to make sure that that doesn't happen. Close it out early. Make sure you convert on these map points.
We are really destined to see ascend to that point, assuming they've got their grip onto it. LEV calling for a pause, but now with the util flying forwards, it's already indicated that they need it. G2, aware of the fact that they're going to be trying to play for this one. TPs have to be used. Valid, full evacuation, gets himself out of there. Again, another planned situation, this time out into the corner. Valorant going for some spam onto that spot, counter spam as well onto either side, but at least the plant is down, and this is playable from the mountain position.
Yeah, much better post-plant. Now that the plant is better itself.
Nade has to be dodged around. Sees though, there was that connection. Aspas, he can't hear any of these sound cues. Doesn't know if the players are going to be quickly approaching that position, looking around, heads on swivels. They haven't cleared Aspas. Smoke, drop down, Jonah P. He's plucking apart the teammates right now in the insurance policy. That is Aspas. He has to get traded. He does. G2. It's overwhelming. The discipline there that just sails them through it to this 5th and final map.
You have been playing the better game here today, but it doesn't matter. You know, basing it, it comes down to who wins here on Ascent. And you can win by playing good Valorant, or you can win by just grinding out the rounds in whatever way you possibly can.
Win's a win at the end of the day. Doesn't matter if it's sloppy or not.
No, and LEV starting off here with a really interesting idea, throwing the one-way and throwing the shock dart out. That one-way, though, very high. One for Victor Wembanyama, not really necessarily one for Jet.
Molly into the smoke dome. Zeno won't be able to play through this one, but Icy revealed. Almost dropped down here, at least into the single digits of hell with the right click in that angle. Get the hell out of here. Still shock darts offloaded into the tight corners. Dash from Aspas will not be evading that one. Call to fight by G2 is a good one.
Another pistol looking like it's going to go their way.
Spike planted.
Had the vast majority of them in this series, but Tex is going to try. And he's managed to find one and escape. There was a possibility there for Jonah P and Trent to try to trade that. It did not come through. Trent just going for an info peek and almost wins the round out.
At some point, just got to show them no respect. Tex will have a decent go at things. Flash is a little bit off there in terms of the peak timing, but time's running short. Got to get a move on if you're Tex. Don't have any chance of winning. Your win cons narrowed down. At this point, you're just playing for the KDA.
Yeah, that's all that Tex can do in this spot. You know, getting that lockdown online a little earlier maybe would have been a bit helpful, but it's G2 that come away with the pistol, as we've said so very often in this series. Not that it particularly has aligned with who's won the map or who's even won the half necessarily. But I'm sure it would look a lot worse here today if LEV had been winning some of them. It was the last time that we saw G2 playing on this map against 100 Thieves. They actually put together a pretty decent attack half. They managed to get 5 rounds, and then they won 0 on defense. And it was a crushing defeat. But we'll save those concerns for the next half, put a pin in it, and take a look at how G2 play this one.
No way!
Amazing the re-clear with the bounce flash.
The players all just collected up together, lined them up. Right for the taking, Valen.
Player standing.
He's going to put down a disadvantage that his team has got, but at this point, too little, too late. Leaf, looking up. Com taking all, but okay, 2 rifles handed over, and the spike dropped down, and they're doubled up together.
And they're finding a timing to the back of Leaf's head.
There it is. Doesn't matter if you lose the pistol rounds, I guess, if you're just going to be consistent in terms of winning the follow-up, your eco rounds. Couldn't have asked for a better start there.
Oh, what a little set play.
Yeah.
We saw them go for the one-way and the shock dart and the pistol over towards B. This time, re-clearing A. So aggressively with tons of people. I mean, 4 of them fighting into A main. Lovely.
Spike down.
Happy
all
about that one.
smiles, yeah, all smiles. It's flipped the economy up on its head. G2 will try and make do now with limited weaponry, revealing it. Nade rebounding. Zeno another chance to really fight this one.
Yeah, they're going for a heavy re-clear strategy over here, and Aspas, he gets traded.
Fire straight back, like you said, traded. Leaf now tucks himself close. LEV have been proactive in terms of these reclays, but that flash lands at the floor. King seemingly aware of that position that he could be playing into, but the door's going to be closing now into their face. Nobody tucked out wide, can't quite get the kills eventually with the shock dart. Let's lay it down and peppered enough. The players of G2, IC, trying to take that timing ahead of all of it and picked up a weapon for his troubles. Revealed though, know where he is, plant down on top of it. G2.
They just don't expect Tex coming from A main.
Don't expect it. Tex is going to land the shots though. At least a standard chance. Still, it's swarmed. Everyone from LEV now making sure that they combine together. Leave no gaps in the play.
Definitely opportunities there for G2 to try to steal something back. But LEV closed the door in their face.
It is over.
Got the rifles online, got the Odin in the hands of Com as well. And looking to try to build up some momentum. They have been going real heavy on the reclears. Yeah. Look at this, mid-round reclear over towards Catwalk after Aspas got killed. They've been going, of course, for that early round fight, which is a reclear over towards A main. They're not trying to hold the one way. They're allowing G2 to push through it and then clearing it out. That, I think, is just going to be early half conditioning, though. I don't think they're going to be going for that every single time. They're just trying to make it feel like for G2, you can't take that space for free.
Yeah. I would agree with that point here. It's a split slow default by G2 again, and I believe getting a tag onto at least one of the players, but unaware that Aspas is up into this position. Smoke in his face, though. Makes the decision nice and easy for him.
I think the more mid-round plays you have on defense for Leviathan, the better that's going to be against the way that Valen calls. He puts so many of these slow pauses into his attack side, and if you find out where they're looking to end, that can be extraordinarily helpful. But gathering information against G2 can be tough, because they don't have very many tells. They do a lot of kind of contacting, and I think that's what they're going to look to do over towards A main as well. Just double or tripling up onto angles. Although here, a recon may give the game away. No, choosing not to.
45 seconds. Knife clears out onto Wine. Peace of mind there. Now here comes the dart. Hunter's Fury. Aspas in his position. Spotted out up. Trent can't evade it.
What a prediction.
Beautiful work by Trent. Just sending the Hunter's Fury sky high, and there's all the value you could really ask for at all. Shut down in your face, Mazzino. Won't be able to spray that one down. Here, G2 be able to get this plant now.
And thus activates Leaf on the lurk. He's got no Killjoy utility to have to worry about.
Paranoia delaying. A lot of players tuck themselves deep into hell.
It's just to buy time for Leaf.
It really is. And Leaf got a bit of insurance policy. He's taking his sweet time with things. Might even be missing one of his own. Finally jumping up right behind. And the hit comes through. Damage done. Taking away the lives and away from them. It's a feed that's filled with red. G2 to earn that second round on the board.
This is a great start for G2 here. The fact that they've been able to get round 4 on the board. Of course, they lost the follow-up of the pistol. They'd love things to have gone differently in that regard. But the first rifle round that they're properly fighting, this one, pretty beautifully done. The first tell is that recon dart, and immediately they go into the hit. You know, knife, recon, and they're in. And they still have Paranoia for the post-plant as well, which buys time for Leaf to wrap around. A sick prediction by Trent onto Aspas. Shuts down that star player too.
No mercy here for G2. They want to try and fight.
They're not going to think Aspas has found the timing into Wine already, I don't think.
Yeah, in fact, giving up that space as well, so it looks like they won't be punished for it.
But Mazzino is not here to send over that classic flash from Dice, and you peek with it. So it might be a little more difficult for Mazzino, for King and Aspas to fully clear out A main. Aspas just goes for the peek, but as soon as they realize A main is clear, G2 are already grouping up towards B. They're being a little quicker around the map here, I think. G2 will often leave it till about 40 seconds when they're grouping up to go for the hit, and now they're already starting to take that map control, looking to end on the B split.
Run into mid, the alarm bot should be broken. They've only placed Icy into that spot.
They're looking to flash peek Tex in off the turret contact here.
Yeah, he's the one who's going to be making the play right back. The dart's not dealt with. Tucks him away, and he's just out in the open. Ready for the Odin to spray him down and take him out. Anchoring players are being afforded those chances. There is that TP. Quick pivot now. The reinforcements have arrived with a dash deep in, but here's the pivot again. G2 are calling for it. They want to fight into the back of the site. They know exactly what's going on.
This is lovely stuff. Great call by Valen. Realizing that Aspas has already gone for the flood, they pivot and go over towards A. There's nobody home. This one should be free.
G2, they love to play with plays like this to pivot away. I mean, Leaf, his sole job is done. Even if he gets the kills here, They can't remove him. Thorn in their sides towards the tail end. That's flawless work from G2.
And these last 2 rounds, masterclasses, but this one in particular. This is a great protocol that we've seen from G2. It's not necessarily some kind of mad scramble on the fly. They actually do this fairly often. Not the setup necessarily, but this portion of it. When they've taken front side B control, then they're so happy to pause.
Nice, boys. Yo.
Wait,
They're playing great Valorant here.
You wouldn't think G2 is stressed, man. Push the 5.
No, not at all.
Smiles on their faces.
Yeah, no, I think it really is all about how you interpret the closeness of today. Because the close maps have really been the ones that have gone to overtime. The others, more comfortable for G2. And yeah, I'm loving the way that Valorant calls, adding in these pauses into the rounds.
King still trying to hold on to control of A main. Pretty good read of things with Com taking that deep lurk timing, so now they know that it's all landing over towards A. We'll see if it affects them though. With them losing trend, they're running into the stack. They're running into the stack. In for the smoke. What a shot by Aspas. That's a difficult one to hit. Paranoia sweeping forwards. Hunter's Fury collects and collides into the players. Leaving it just down to Valen. A thrifty win by LEV.
We've had a round like this, so similar on Icebox, I want to say it, but I can't exactly remember which map it was on, where Com calls for people to full stack the opposite site. He's just got to read in this moment that it's all fake pressure over towards B.
Yep.
He wanders out through B main, gets the kill on his counterpart Trent inside the drone, and he's caught for the stack before it even happens. Fantastic call there. I'm going to assume it was Com, because he was so instrumental in making that play happen. We've got dueling Odins.
As well as that, I mean, it's LEV that are looking to try and contest this one. I don't think they want to give easy access for a lockdown exec into the B site. The drone is dodged. Dart and a peek. Gotta be wary of it. Smoked across. Here's a lockdown. What do you have to remove this one? Zaspas really going to be overstaying himself here. Surely he's got to get out of there. Doesn't want to use the dash. Wants to save it for the next wave of things. Speaking of it, waves emanating out here with an old command. Gives G2 access to it. No more abilities, utility to be used. Not for the flood attempt. Not by LEV. They have to take this pause.
There are 3 players in B main.
Paranoia waiting for Valen. Looks like they want to really fight over this one as soon as they see some signs of life. But who's going to be taking the contact? Let's it loose anyway. Just delaying them. LEV running out of time here. Getting down to the final moments of really what makes it even possible to try and play this one retaken. But the smoke's dropped up in their faces. There's no fights to be given freely. It's tooth and nail in terms of the approach. They just can't quite get themselves into it. And the fight's taken by Valen. He'll step up to the challenge.
They've got great ideas on their attack side. This was exactly the same in the 100 Thieves game. They still lost that map 13-5.
Yep, they did. They certainly did.
This round is beautifully concocted. They slowly take the main control, dismantle any kind of setups that might be there to restrict them from taking that space, get the lockdown, pop the null command afterwards to stop the flood attempt, as you were saying, and get into a nice post-plant setup. It's all by the book, really solid, well executed, good team play. All of the stuff that's been working perfectly for G2 today. And LEV haven't quite found those individual moments to disrupt just yet, but they're going to look to try to fight over Cat. And if there was a man to do it, it would be Aspas.
Flash set it up. Made a lot of noise though. Surely he's going to be heard. Where's that util? Anything ready for him? There it is. Over and atop. As Aspas rips away the head of Jonah P.
Hey, how's LEV got into this spot? This is ridiculous.
Oh no, looked all the way up mid. I mean, he broke the alarm bot years ago right now. He's right there behind him. Aspas turns away for but a moment. It's all that LEV needs.
It's all on King.
King looking this way, that way, doesn't know which way to really try and contend and contest with all of this push. An attempt against him somehow comes out with 2. And leaves it to the rest of his team.
This sets Tex up for the flank. He's so quick into Gelato. He's going to be behind them almost as soon as the plant goes down.
Util out.
Com just has to survive
Com
here.
not getting caught. It's a lockdown already. Orchestrating this positioning. Tex It's revealed it. It's going to be pushing them back and away into the corner. There are safe spots that G2 can
Last
play
player
within.
standing.
Oh, he's gone down!
Texas just dropped.
One enemy remaining.
It's down just to come. 1v1. Valen already with the smoke propped up. And his plant is so damn difficult. Com suspects it. That's got to be broken. Tanks the hit. Valen repositioning now. Bring around the rosies. A tap from Com. Baits it out, but Valen maintains the cool and now knows it. Calls the bluff entirely. And with that, he wins the round. Com running away with a tail in between his legs.
Valen once more the hero for G2. I think Texas misplayed that situation personally. He's got fantastic timing there, really early towards Gelato. And instead of looking to try to use that timing to find a pick, he went for the lockdown instead and pushed people into Com. And Com did a good job. But Tex went down taking the duel against Valen.
One enemy
I
remaining.
mean, the lockdown doesn't even cover the whole site.
Stats player.
Again, the call out. Stats player playing for the logs.
Yeah.
And just not really making a good go of things to try and win out the round there, but
And that off the back of being able, they're a little few and far between for LEV on the defense side.
I think that's been the case, honestly, for most of the series, where you're having these winning moments just from the hero plays. Individuals stepping up. This time, LEV, full aggression into mid. Looking to take the fight to them. Something is up here for G2. They definitely recognize the fact.
But Leaf doesn't know.
They're right behind them, yeah, they don't know. They actually are just clueless in the moment.
I think G2 there were trying to fake that it was a fast A hit, heard the Killjoy utility, and decided to back up. They had no idea mid was compromised. Nobody in position to hear the footsteps. Now looking to try to re-clear it. And King, he uses his ult to get out of his stuck position. He was previously playing in this close position here towards mid. But that's also going to rattle G2 a little bit.
Yeah, wondering where the hell he
They
is.
have no idea where he's gone. He just didn't want to risk one of the few Vandals they had. Oh, the hallway.
Paranoia. We'll get that latch there onto Aspas, pushed out of the smoke. Just from the net, it's Tex. Takes a little bit of a peek and also takes a head clean off the shoulders. Valen will be able to stand up to this one now. And with the weaponry, maybe you can make a decent go of things here if you're left. Leaping right in, nobody covering the back. Ankles Vecino! My God!
Another situation where LEV taking things off the back of making unexpected plays, at the very least. This one was more coordinated, though. The fact that they all worked together, 4 players into mid. Leaf, yeah, he had no clue that that was happening.
There was no real indicator that they were taking mid either, other than the big sprint at the beginning. Those shots are disgusting by Mazzino.
Yeah, G2 caught off guard, just looking to try to play their own game. Normally people are going to be running some kind of slow default there. Coming into this one, a fight over A main, another one of these re-clear strats perhaps.
Spas in wine.
Here.
Looking to set him up! I didn't even have time to react. That is absurd stuff, and he doesn't even use the dash to exit. G2 gonna be calling to try and go into a split attempt at their own updraft dash and a movement. Clean enough, but Aspas really can't hold a candle to this guy in this type of form.
G2 have been carefully preparing every attack round to try to push themselves further and further into a good half. And LEV in the last 2 have just torn it out of their hands. Tied the game up. Course 5 is still really good for G2, but again, they didn't win any defense rounds last time we saw them on Ascent. So the more that Valen can create here, using his brain as the IGL, the better things will look to be. LEV there just had the perfect setup. Trent is usually going to be using his Hunter's Fury over towards B, sending it in to try to put the punish onto his opposing Sova.
It's a real far back drone as well. Worried about a shock dart to cancel it. Yeah, again, that proactivity by LEV. Look at this, straight down mid, up through Cat. Last few times that they go for these B splits. Drone not being used to take mid control here. Pretty big indicator. Com locking it down, at least onto that sight line. Angle, Odin in play, but turns away. Power up, spots it. Wants a call by G2 here. Surely they know they've been found out. They have no prior map control. Knife reveals 5, maybe? Pretty much all of them, right? And you definitely suspect that. Got noise for the call. But LEV are stacking with the right amount of players.
I think these are the situations where Valen's calling gets exposed a little bit, I think, because they just don't have options anywhere else on the map.
40
They
seconds.
have to go for the re-hit, and I think LEV know that.
Sending it flying. Only blessing in disguise.
No recon breakers.
Rotating away. The recon connection potentially there with a Hunter's Fury. Trying to play this one through and through. Icy cannot be cut up and caught out of this angle, but LEV, man! These crossfire setups, picking the right timings, in and out of the smokes. Mazzino! This guy just comes alive on this map.
Last round in the
LEV
half.
realized that that was going to be a re-hit. They had King jiggle peeking over towards A main. He hadn't heard anything. Tex posted up deep into close mid. Hadn't heard any footsteps running away either. They were so confident that that was going to be a re-hit. And you had Aspas poking up 2. The rest of Leviathan holding very pretty on the site. 3 rounds now in a row for our defending squad, as both teams are in our final map. Attack timeout called by G2. They just want to put this final round over the line. Pretty heavy investment of the tactical timeout just for the final round, but 5 or 6 maybe could make. So he's always got the option of falling back, not forced to retake with the operator. Ooh. And if that wasn't clear enough, LEV have a massive economy advantage.
Operator. No eyes towards tiles. Oh, the turret. Missing him. Gets well ahead of it. Anybody seeks to re-explore through mid, G2.
Clearing wine with the recon dart. Interesting there from
It's slow
G2.
going. They're going to go straight back into Aspas. Potentially through the mid angle if they think that it's clear. Everybody going through spawn.
Yeah. And there was a knife there, cross-map from Mazzino. I think it kind of cleared out Gelato, and G2 decided to rotate anyway, so they're rotating into the stack. I think this is the problem a little. Valen's trying to add in these pregnant pauses, but often the prognosis isn't positive when they just read what's happening anyway.
Yeah. See it, it's trying to fake the presence there. Jonah P called for him to send a knife flying over. He's just one player, though. What can you really do to highlight this when Aspas is not to be convinced? He doesn't hear anything here. There's no sound cues whatsoever. Paranoia's there. Forwards met, though, with a flash of their own. LEV, they've got the right read on it, and more so. Aspas, right from behind, strikes right where it hurts. Mazzino following forwards and through and running them all the way down. There's no chances with only 3 left out open. Jonah P not set up for an easy fight and everybody falls. 7-5 finish. LEV on the defensive half.
An awesome recovery, you gotta say.
Yeah.
It looked like Valen was completely in control of this map by the time we got to round 7, round 8, and then stringing 4 in a row to pull this one back from the brink. Getting the operator into Aspas's hands, getting good reads on the defense side as well as to where G2 were going to be ending. That proactivity really coming through importantly for LEV. And we head into our final half of the match.
Intentions could not be lead that LEV are holding here for the final map of our lower bracket finals. And again, sole focus on these pistol rounds, Josh. I mean, we put in the emphasis on them.
G2 are so happy to stack on pistols. They've got 4 players again ready to defend B. What a read.
And LEV are just going for a full rush take. All hands on deck for this one. Seeing if they can try and meet their maker with that one, the nade. And also the bullets almost making it possible here in a fast, mad dash to pivot over towards A. They don't have any prior map control here for LEV, so this is, you know, not really set in stone.
No, Tex has not taken space over towards A main. It's possible that there could be somebody sneaky hiding in position, but it is clear. Com's gonna look to try to make this feel like a re-hit. Looking to drone, and he's kept people in place.
Well, the drone's gonna be met with a knife, and they just know that there's no one there now. Only one player tagged.
But they're already in over towards A. Com's done his job.
I mean, it should be, but LEV are taking their time with it. Only just getting in. Will be nobody available, ready and waiting onto the side to try and play spoiler towards it. King with the plant.
Paranoia, 2 flashes, both available for G2. When does this recon come back online as well for Trent? 22 seconds, they can't wait for that.
To flash. Paranoia at least going to be flying right through them onto the heaven angles here, but now doubled up into hell, dropping down. Icy doesn't want to take the first fight just yet to them. Still with the smoke in their face. Valen is going to be sticking this one. Already got half, and he's earning them just this bailout, but nobody pushing them off again. It's daylight robbery.
It's so similar to the end of Lotus. Just stick the defuse and Lev can't stop it.
Dude, what are we watching?
These post-plant protocols from Leviathan, they need to be improved heading into Shanghai. If they take anything away from this game, win or lose, the pistols and the post-plants have been a nightmare. The timing is just off. Aspas is inside the smoke, and Valen's already stolen it.
Yep.
There's thievery on both sides as teams challenge each other for the right to face 100 Thieves in the grand finals. Just doing a little bit of method acting, I suppose, to try to take down teams in the grand final.
Method acting and a little bit of trolling on the other side. I mean, however you want to tell it. Nades, just from the signs of the contact there from the player, it's going to force the Lev players straight up the gut here. Leaf will happily meet them. More bullets as well, raining down, almost potentially tagging onto Aspas. Expectations are high for this Lev squad. Super team. That's what we were all saying leading into it here. It's a team that's expected to win right now on the back foot.
Getting this somewhat free entry over towards B. And some players in difficult post-plant positions as well to root out.
This one could get strange. Trent with a counter spam onto him. Leaf still tucked into the market position though. They are worried, I think, about the flank potential there because they haven't really dealt with Aspas. They don't know where this guy was. He showed his presence earlier out towards Cat. Enough for them to pull out at least the plan, but maybe it won't be anything else past that point. Everybody cleared out of the site. The only two stragglers, Common Aspas.
Surely too weak here to do anything.
They can. I mean, it's just going to be stuck all the way once more. Icy, full stick with a defusal. Another round win for them. They can make it expensive. Com. They seek to try and do a bit more economical damage. Only 2 players surviving from G2 might actually make a difference in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, round 15, this is not going to be a great bonus round buy from G2. It's going to look much more like a full eco. And so that's good for Leviathan. You know, at least they've done that level of damage to give themselves this room. It's 7-7. G2 have already at least won some defense rounds, right? That was the massive problem that hurt them in the 100 Thieves game. But you're completely correct. The expectations for these two teams were very, very different. And we're still trying to figure out whether it's reasonable to hold Lev to that super team standard. Tex is going to try to hold out.
Very deep push. Tex going to contain. Actually does spot a lot of these plays. You are way ahead of the curve right there. Trying to take this fight, and it's a tip-top dance on display. Jonah P narrowly avoiding all those bullets. A call to recontest here by Lev.
Yeah, and they know it. They should know it.
They should know it. Trent is out in the open, man.
If they haven't reacted into A, they're definitely going for it.
This is chaotic. This is messy. It's getting muddy.
3 players alive still from Lev, all bunched into spawn. No map.
Walking right into it. They just don't have a clue and still come up with a kill.
I mean, Leaf had already given away that he was playing in that spot.
What is going on?
Lev are just assuming that they've given it up. Look at Jonah B behind as well. Full chaos mode for G2.
It is. Jackson of it spots it out with the spike drop down. He doesn't know where the other 2 are. Never gonna be finding this one difficult though. Look at that, just a full takeaway from the flash. Pick it back up though, spike in their hands. They have to call to try and clear this player out, which is Jonah P. Just here, nice movement alongside the aim. Com is able to at least deal with that one, the first obstacle, but there's only 18 seconds left.
G2 are assuming that they have to go A, but there is actually
where are they going?
I think there's enough time for them to be able to go to the B site.
10 seconds.
It's gonna be a match sprint.
The door's in their face!
The door's in the way!
Someone open it, man! 6 seconds, 5, 4, barely, maybe. I don't even know.
I think he might have missed it.
Getting into it's a post plan, and it's King just trying to float right back into this. Icy. It's just one man. What can you do? Blind as a bat. The crossfire setup, Lev already calling for it. They may have just won a round like that. That's on milliseconds.
Com,
milliseconds.
Always flanking. Always
flanking. And he's got the perfect timing.
Surely.
Moved all the way around. Oh, Dicey. Surely. Doesn't know what the last is, but King will finally deliver it.
But the game,
man. I mean,
the game plan there of causing maximum amount of chaos to Leviathan worked perfectly. G2 were just throwing bodies at them all across the map, slipping into timings. Look, what was the time on this?
0.1 basically, yeah, like 15.
Yeah,
0.15.
Nice save, let's go.
Let's go.
Nice. He knew that he was a team, but then Mike and
And it's getting, listen, it's getting loopy.
Yeah.
A little bit Delulu as we get into the tail end here, map 5.
G2, because they took that almost as a full eco, they've got great eco here. It would be a swing round, but they got that off online. They got the Odin pressuring over towards B main as well. Icy doesn't do a lot of opping. I think that's been a little bit of a learning process for him. Almost all of the time he was rifling during our regular stage 1, and he's been picking it up a little more in the playoffs. As he swings back around.
Targets destroyed.
No re-clear attempt into mid, not after the alarm bot was broken right at the beginning. On the off here, Trent. Yeah, but I shot that.
This turret is still holding contact towards mid. So even with the alarm bot broken, Leaf is still getting good info here. And that's a great setup from G2 because it allows their players to still be on site. A little bit of chip damage, but nothing too much there.
No kill to be found. Lev. They are grouped up though, with only 45 seconds left. Similar scenes really to G2 on their attack side. The options are limited. Hunter's Fury have come. This will have to set this one up. And it's a cross-map dart. Dodging away the dance and dicing with death himself really, but still being able to supplant himself as the angry player. Leave.
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
he's really overstaying his welcome and somehow still gets the one. Trent has not been removed. 25 seconds left. Flash in his face. That was an attempt to try and set him up. And Mazzino's just donated the spike. Mincemeat evaporated.
And a lovely usage of the Odin there from Trent. A weapon that I think America should be using a ton more. But Trent's doing a great job of it, dropping back into that backside position where he can fight them, and they can't get a kill on him. What was this play from Leaf? He tanked 100 damage inside the nanoswarm just to get an unexpected time in there through the door being closed behind him. No way that Lev could have anticipated his positioning, but still got that quick trade. Not enough though. And G2 proving that they can win. Rifle rounds on game plans, tighter together. They're not the team that just scraped into playoffs. They've blossomed.
Let's fly.
Just needed a bit of time on our tier 1 stage.
Definitely paving the right road now to make it into that grand finals here of our mid-stage playoffs. Jump spot doesn't see it. Icy with the op in his hands. And there it is. Punishment. Display there for Aspas. A bit of counter fire as well to make sure that they just can't be traded. King works himself into a deeper angle, but he is stuck here now. Doesn't actually have another TP. Has to smoke himself off just to escape. And now with the drone tagging him, the bullets start raining down. There's no respite.
Enemy down.
G2 choosing on the anti-eco to try to showcase that they can double peek out of Cat. I don't think they're going to run that kind of setup very often on rifle rounds, but they want to demonstrate that they can do it when there's more chance of it working, because they're just shooting into players with pistols or stingers.
Lev have found the right gap though in this round. The 2v4. Silent jump spot from Valen, but he hears all the sound cues, the footsteps.
Yeah, he's going to hit both of them.
The scuttle of all of it. Lays down the smoke. It's going to make them think that there potentially could be an anchoring player, but mostly cleared. Lev now going to be sticking to this. It's a little lockdown to be played, just in case it is necessary. You can see Lev having the right idea there, seeking to try and fight over this one. Do they think this corner's cleared? Yes, they do, but not enough damage done. So the Stinger can't drop enough players.
It took magic from the Lev players. 1v3s galore for Tex on Icebox to steal that map away. Just too much to ask for, it seems like, here in our final map. G2, the teamwork is pulling ahead. It's a slim lead, though. Very slim. I think that's called the hair on Aspas's arm. There's no way that hit flesh.
What does the damage, though? You highlighted Icy, you know, not having a strong performance on an individual basis, but I feel like the way G2 play, they don't really need a star player to pop off. It helps, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
When the players can win those rounds, but so far it's that preparation, the discipline on display.
This is one of the few times, actually, where G2's gamble is completely incorrect. They've got 4 players over towards A. And they're looking to play, by the look of it, full retake. And obviously the Lockdown and the Null Command are fantastic retake ultimates. But they're essentially giving Leviathan the B site here.
That could be dangerous. Null Command at her own. Mazino's going to be using it. Letting it rip. Moving forwards. Plus we know it to be a completely cleaned out site. That will be finding that out soon enough.
So now it's down to post-plant positioning. People like King over towards Pizza in this spot.
Did he make a footstep? I'm not too sure when he was dropping down. Let's see if he gets cleared. He's doubled up now. Crossfire set up with him and Com.
Yeah, and Com can kind of distract. It's almost better to play an aggressive angle here for Com.
Okay,
Like
we'll let loose. Let loose, Valen! Snaps to the side, 90 degrees, and a double face with the updraft. G2 favored now in their approach. Chopping away, slicing out control of the map here from LEV as the smoke fades away. The Blades just really whittling and whistling past the heads here. LEV still managing to get it done in the process.
What is going on there? Mazino managed to find a kill and then is just lobbing over flashes for the rest of the team to play off. Felt like G2 should have locked those players into B main and certainly had an opportunity to kill Aspas. This one almost broke Valen's wrist. Look how good the flashes are there towards the end to put pressure on Icy and Leaf and set up Aspas. Mazino, the hidden carry of that round, able to secure his anchor position and then continue to help his teammates. 9-9. For every round that G2 start to look to pull ahead, there's an answer for LEV.
Not willing to go down so easily. Not as the 3rd seed heading to Shanghai of our America's representatives. This is going to be explosive. Straight through onto the site. Icy. Confidence there to try and take that peak, and Valen with the punish onto the late rotation.
What is going on here? The spike is in spawn.
Is in spawn.
I thought that...
Oh, I mean, Aspas.
This is mad.
It is mad. Madness maybe. Might be the method. Aspas still making goes of things here. G2 having to use the drone and expend it just to try and clear out these spots. They've lost a lot of control over towards the A side. Levs still haven't called for a hard committal. Eventually, now making their way over.
Lockdown available here for Tex. Hunter's Fury early, so now they've got a free lockdown.
Okay, I mean, drop down here. We'll see it being utilized. Tex immediately just drops it down. No one can play this one by G2.
Oh, that's a big mistake, I think, from G2. Big mistake. They could have been set up in a great position to flood defend. They had the paranoia, they had the player advantage, but now players have slipped into spots where they won't be expected.
And they got to clear Aspas. That's at least step 1 of it. The master plan in action. Tex still holding on to control of Tree just in case they try and go for the lockdown retake, but they realize there's really no time for it. Smoke propped up, no one breaks it. Valen sticking, there's no way he does this again. There's just no way.
No, not again.
Player advantage be dumped, man. G2 up to 10.
These post-plant setups are killing LEV.
I think, did the Nano Swarm get kicked off? Where did it go?
He had 2 nanoswarms. One was on the spike, I believe. The second he hadn't thrown yet. I believe he threw the second one and deaded it, but the second one missed and the first got broken.
Yeah.
I think that's what must have happened there.
Dude, how many rounds are we going to see like that?
They just don't have good game plans of what they want to do in those spots too. It looked like Tex wanted to even take the lurk. There just wasn't somebody else to buy time. Whatever, you got to put it past you. Move on. G2 up 10-9. LEV have been great at responding in situations like this, but that one was a manic round.
Flash clear, paranoia. A lot of U2 are going to be dumped in just to try and take back control of that A main angle. Meanwhile, Aspas go on walkabout again.
Yeah, taking this pressure forwards because he knows that G2 were fighting over A main. So there's probably only going to be 2 players around. No one really watching B.
He's alone when doing it.
No one really watching mid, I should say.
Tripled up though from G2. On towards Tree, it's a flash play into the corner, jump spot, King doesn't choose to use the paranoia, and well, the bluff has been called, but a straight shot just missing there. I mean, it's not really the weapon for the job. Stinger in hand, dropping him down to just 1 HP. King still surviving. They got to hear this one now. A lot of footsteps moving into their general direction. King always got to narrowly sidestep all of this one, but it could be a great time to just pounce onto everybody. Reload, no! Smoke fades out into the open. And left the spike. Where is it? Drop down into the spawn, for God's sake. Don't have side control. Anchoring players need to be dealt with. Tex. He swings in, oscillating wildly, backs and forth. Spike still, though, not obtainable. Com getting a move on, getting a run on. 20 seconds left. It really does come down to this. How can he even find this one? Trent, tucked close to the corner. Does it get cleared? Plant, stuck. Trent, ice cold. Doesn't take the peek until this final moment. Enough damage done. Can't be happening. It just can't be happening.
Both teams losing massive advantage situations via completely different mistakes. Here, Trent, he thinks the first tap might be a fake, so he wants to wait for the spike to go down. There's a pull-out animation of the rifle, so he should be favored, but he just doesn't take his time with the shot, and Icy isn't close enough to get the trade. Com clutches with the space he was given. When even your own coach can't believe it, you know, if either of these teams want a better seed heading into Shanghai,
This is gonna be
they've got to get these final 3 rounds. 10-10 and Lev in the driver's seat with better economy, but G2 are looking to fight them over A main.
At the end of the day, do advantages even mean anything at all? G2, pound for pound there with a fight and contention. Out over towards A main, forcing out a util. Paranoia was expended by King, expecting it to be a bit more of a follow-up. Tex creeping and crawling his way up mid. Leaf, though, holding it forwards. Meanwhile, there's a fight happening on multiple fronts. Leaf wins it out in the battle of the timing. Tex just unaware of the fact that that is even a possibility, and it's crumbling again beneath them. Shot darts pushing them back for now, but it's a 2v2 scenario.
Leaf is on the flank. He's so fast. We saw Tex in this position when the sides were swapped.
He's pushed all the way past this one. The door's just shut up behind him, man. He's going to have to reload. Trent, chances to capitalize off of all of this ground that is gained. Leaf up and around. Smoke now, propped up in his face.
We saw Tex in the exact same spot. He used lockdown. It didn't work. This time, Leaf is going to go for it.
And Com's just trying to take the fight. Crawls up onto the position. They don't want to go to break this one, but it's a hard one to even find value out of. King, there's so many ways to escape it. Leaf with a tap. Trying to force out this fight and positioning. Waiting for the dart on the first play of things. He's revealed, lit up, and it's all dwindled now. A decent go at things here for G2. It was a thrifty round at the end of the day, but Lev persevere.
This is now starting to remind me a little of the way that G2 lost against 100 Thieves. It's not necessarily an enormous lead in terms of the rounds, but they are on the defense side of Ascent, which it should be favored. And they're letting that potential advantage slip through their fingers. They need a big round here. Otherwise, Lev have essentially won the series. G2's economy hangs in the balance. They need this.
Here it comes. Central backbreaker of a round. Same shock dart. It's going to be used to clear out this alarm bot. Big down mid. It's a flash peek, re-clear. King not punished for it.
Both teams looking to refight over towards A main really heavily and then take this timing after the refight to cover Cat. And both of our attacking teams have fallen for it. Lev, though, adding a pause of their own.
G2 with a high-low. Smoke. It's there. Paranoia. Drone as well. Carves out a path. Paranoia is going to be used at just the right moment there, so nobody following up after the fact that it was utilized. Meanwhile, deep mid position. Door drop down in Tex's face. He might be able to get a bit of a backstab going.
They're worried about Tex. They're looking to see it in case he's got himself into a very deep position over here. When the alarm bot got broken, now these G2 players always have to be worried about a mid flank.
Slow and steady. The lever looking to potentially just explode out now from the market area as soon as the door gets broken.
It's only Leaf defending B. I mean, it's so weak right now if they can get past Trent.
Yeah, the dash is active. That's going to be the signal now. Everybody wants to move forwards with this one here. There's a dart. At least a supplement. Anything to help this one out, but it just goes potentially in the wrong direction there, or at least broken before anybody gets pinged and targeted. Leaf is avoiding the bullets, just ducking and dodging away from this one with the flash to try and carve out any sort of access onto the side. Leaf from the back lines! This guy! He's just ruined them and wrecked them. Pulled apart with only 10 seconds left to spare. The spike has to be planted. King, he smokes himself off in the position here, but G2 have the numbers advantage. And now they're feeling it. Empowered and fired up from that one. 11-11. They will not go down so easily.
Hero plays there for G2. That's what they've kind of needed all day.
Yeah.
And LEV delivers for them in backside. He had to get something going in this spot. And the fact that he got a bullet tag, I think, onto Com and just stopped him from going for the wide swing trade. Gets two of them, plays in Valen, allows the flood to happen. It looked like he had been abandoned in backside of B. And now it's LEV who are pushed down onto an eco. This game could not be more back and forth as we head into the final 2 rounds of regulation on Ascent. Possibly the final 2 rounds of the match.
Quick knife's going to be used on either side here with the flashes and the dart. Smoke to cover the feed and the exit, but Icy's going to be revealed.
This is the same game plan that we saw before.
They're moving over to B.
Tex just is hovering around in B main with the spike. How is he actually going to get in?
I don't know. It's still being held. The spike dropped down. Trent,
Spike down,
good awareness. Dart dropped down just behind him because he knows that King is within the vicinity. But how do they deal with this one? This one singular element. King, the IGL flashed up in his face. He supported Utel as well. He can't find it. Still a kill is there. Gone with the classic. Don't know where he pulled it from. 3v3. No command. Radiates out. Emanates out. LEV getting a move on now, moving into it, but again the anchoring positions. Valen is here, ready and waiting. And so what is the call? LEV indecisive right now, but still with 50 seconds to spare. They can afford to slow this one down, but they just want to go for it. And G2, they force the issue.
Spike down.
The 12th round at this point, they want it. They're hungry for it. Pushed around too much over the course of this series, and now one step away from closing it out.
They've got to make sure that they don't get too caught up in the moment, though. We've seen them squander map points before. They were great at closing things out on Lotus. It was so important when they went up 12-10 that they shut the door in LEV's face, offered no opportunity for it to slip away. But remember that that was an eco round for Leviathan. They tried that same eco strat. Hasn't worked for them twice in a row now.
Quick peeks now.
But IC's going to pick himself up an operator, and G2 at match point.
And this is it. It's got to be now. When LEV have got into the OT scenarios, they're taking it away twice now in this overall series, in this best of 5.
They're looking to try to hard anchor over towards A. This lockdown is going to push Icy into the corner. Surely there's going to be follow-up utility for this.
Look at this read.
I feel like Icy's going to get baited into staying in this spot. It's actually not even a great lockdown. It gives them a lot of space to play the defense. They're trying to disguise the fact that they're coming from Catwalk, though.
I'm going to take it. Doesn't stop it, though, with the drone. Has to be spotted. Rifle picked up now. Wants to get active. Wants to get into the fight. Phase forwards! King throws his life away, and with it, any chances of the round. The path to redemption and revenge against his 100 Thieves squad in the grand finals. It all comes down to this. And desperation on display, I think, from Com, sending it flying forwards at the spike drop down. Every moment going away at G2 here. But when it matters most, they are closing it out.
30 seconds left.
A 5v2. And Leviathan, the super team, trying to climb back with
They need more than that,
play.
though. It's only down to 1, and it will be shut down. G2 harder. It's an absolute marathon of a match. But they earned that